probably maybe 10 minutes ago.
Hmm.
It was still on starting soon screen.
Yeah, I picked the wrong screen. Hi guys, we're back.
Oh, so you were talking via wrong screen.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
Like the BRB time.
Yes. And that's when Hidden came in and told me I was being stupid. And it was fantastic.
All right.
See, this is now you get to see behind the scenes for reals.
Ooh, behind the scenes stuff that we talk about all the damn time, but now you get to see it. It's like the man behind the curtain. Will that make you Oz?
Makes me odd.
Odd, I'll agree to. Fantastically. Emphatically.
Emphatically.
Totally.
Emphatically.
Did you guys have fajitas or something?
Tacos.
Tacos.
I had tacos.
I can still smell that.
It's because I burped.
Well, there goes my questions. Now I have answers.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see.
Nope, it's still showing the OBS screen.
Son of a beach.
Transition.
No. Oh, no.
Hey!
I mean, we like
We
that.
want window capture, but not that window.
We don't need you guys to see, we don't need you guys to see that. It's more for us that we know what's going on. Ooh. Sorry, I just remembered to turn my phone not only down but off. As pointed out by Young BD last week.
Yeah, Young's like, turn it off. It's vibrating my soul.
Well, I mean, he was listening via headphone, and the headphone users hear
everything.
Yeah, they hear everything. It's much louder for them.
Oh yeah, I know. I listen to most of my stuff for internet on my phone. So anytime like somebody starts chewing in the microphone, it drives me out of my mind. Because
so how do you watch the Tri channel?
I generally watch them if they start chewing. I'll turn it off because I can't stand that sound. That sound is bad for me, and they know it. I've told them directly. I'm like, guys, I can't handle that. It's just not something I'm willing to do. But that doesn't mean that you.
Yeah, you guys don't have to stop. It's just, you don't get the full experience.
Oh, this is great.
Oh man. So I got your invitation, but then I went to go answer questions and was just kind of floored because I was stuck between the old Facts channel and Try.
Oh, yeah.
So I was stuck in between, so I couldn't answer the questions entirely because my first question was, what was it? What episode was it when Donald said, are we going to kiss now? Because this is not the first time this ever happened on their channel.
He was talking to LJG, and it was on the alcohol roulette video.
Alcohol roulette? I thought it was the Polish alcohols.
May have been. It was whichever one Donald and LJG were together on.
Yeah. No, I get that. But like I said, I was trying to my brain was trying to factor in Facts and Try all together. So I haven't actually been able to join the channel officially or join that group officially, because again I'm trying to put Facts in with Try, and they're not the same channel. They are similar channels, but they're not the same channel.
They're the same contributors. It's just money goes to a different person.
Yeah. So here I am trying to answer a question. I'm like, no. This isn't the first time anyone's ever said, so we're gonna kiss now, because someone else said it on Facts.
Yeah.
So I couldn't narrow it down, but I've not had the time to sit down and say, oh, that was this episode, that was that episode.
Okay, so that's mainly just to tell if you're a human being or not.
I kind of figure, but at the same time, I would rather give them a better honest answer than just a here's what I remember at this very moment. I'm confusing Facts and Try.
If you read it, it says just say okay on everything.
No, I know. I did read that. I read that it was more of a series of questions to send to the admins to make sure that you actually are a person coming through.
Right.
But like I said, I'd rather give them some form of honest answer than just a.
I'll tell you what. I'm just gonna get on there and tell Nadia to accept your invite.
All right. I mean.
Because I'm friends with pretty much everybody.
Yeah. Then go ahead. Please do that because I've been cutting fabric all week.
I need help.
No, because like I said, I'm confusing two different channels together.
Yeah.
So I'm just somewhere between facts and try, and I'm like, hold on. Did they do this on try or was that facts?
Okay, so jumping right in, we're gonna check
Yes.
real quick. Let's check the.
The relationships. Everyone else did well except for Hannah. Hannah didn't do well with Luke, but it wasn't by a bad amount.
Right. Zach, of course, is friendly with everyone.
Yeah, Luke being the exception. Rebecca. Oh yeah, that's right.
Marianne and Luke don't get along at all.
Yes, and this might be why Marianne's down in the dungeon area. Dying, or potentially dying. Here's the thing, though. As what'd you call it? As meta as it might be, if the other characters can save her, that might be how it goes.
True. Hey, maybe it's Luke that saves her.
Who knows? We don't know yet.
Her relationship with Ash is pretty low.
Not pretty low. I'll go with it's low. But not as high as not to the point where we're expected, and definitely not where we could be, but we haven't had much of a chance yet.
Right. So.
We had just gotten into this with Becca. We got through, maybe part of a chapter with Becca.
I think about halfway.
Maybe. By the date, it might be halfway through.
It's after Isabel stays at Zach's.
Yes.
And then we just had the scene where she got into it with Luke at the cafe.
Yes, but we're not quite to the party yet.
Yeah, and I think that's what this is. I think we're at the point of the party, or literally just before the party.
Yeah. Man, now we're getting to the point where, the longer this game goes on, the closer it gets to the actual dates in the game.
Right? Yeah, it's like, it's going to hit the 28th, and we're just going to be like, Oh, by the way, I have heard that Haunting of Hill House on Netflix is very, very good.
Ooh.
Very, very good. It's a series.
Good.
And they're like, the news report I saw today, which I think is probably overblown, is that people are puking and passing out watching it. I'm like...
So it's perfect for our particular group of friends, our genre of
totally,
friends.
But my friend Shorty watched it. He says it's great. So I'm gonna give it a shot. So, all right, let's jump into the game.
Let's jump straight in, guys. See, 27th, so 4 days on my birthday. And that's either the day of the party or the day before.
I think it's the day before, because it wasn't Halloween.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Halloween, and it wasn't even the 30th.
Yeah.
It might have been the 28th, maybe the 29th. But hey, we're working with a week's worth of non-sensory to work from this point, so...
Yeah, so... All right.
Here we go. The brief lull the past 2 days has offered is nice while it lasted.
Give us a second to find our footing, guys.
Right. I haven't had enough, reading in the past few hours. It's mainly been singing and talking, not reading.
Yeah, gotta get the brain back in mode.
The brief lull the past few days has offered is nice while it lasted. Or as nice as it can get with worries of Isabella's whereabouts creeping up to me every now and then.
Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of this keyboard.
She hasn't showed up after the last talk we had in the hallway, and the dinner I've bought has since been given to a different neighbor before it spoils. By all means, this shouldn't be anything to lose sleep over. She's gone to work before. She's gone to work trips before, usually for a day or two. This might simply be one of those. Although, it's often with a message saying exactly where. But it's the dour note she has ended our last chat with that gnaws. Like an ugly premonition. As expected, just as things start to settle and steady rhythm finally worms its way back to my routine, Thursday morning brings further disturbance to the now calm waters. With little ceremony, though still enough to ripple through everything. In retrospect, I really should have seen this coming. Luxembourg is a small city, relatively speaking. Compared to, say, London or Glasgow, it's nothing but a tiny mass of land boasting a mere population of 68,000. Jeez. But those numbers alone are nothing to scoff at when standing at a busy street. Let's see, hey, it's 4:12 a.m. I have to sleep now. Thanks, catch you soon. Oh, good night.
Good night. Catch our replay. We will have it up on here and on YouTube. So come back and watch the rest of it, and then you can jump right in with us next week.
Hopefully next time you get to chat with us longer, and hopefully there'll be more of us than just this guy over here.
Yeah, you'll be stuck with me otherwise.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night.
Good morning. Either way. Oh, I did not read that.
You did.
No.
Oh, no.
And if you pay close enough attention, faces taking the crosswalk or riding the subway will soon grow familiar. How unfortunate that number is. Out of that number, it has to be Tio fucking Luke I encounter more than once.
Oh, you know, a few problems popping up here and there, and that the agents failed to tell us somehow. Nothing a few hired hands can't fix, of course. I would have preferred a place near the city and something that's new to save us all the trouble, but darling wife insisted. Who am I to say no?
Hey, that's good. You hit the bell. That's amazing.
That's what I was doing.
So there we go. Well, I just read that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Are you kidding me? His smug head is the first thing I see upon turning into the hall, in spite of the small crowd of parents and students gathered at the corridor for the primary's career day.
I'm gonna move this around here so I don't have to yell.
Right? It's not that he stands out. He's pretty unremarkable at first glance, frankly. However, it's his continence that draws people's eyes to him. The manner he carries himself with all the confidence in the world, his mere presence dwarfing everything around him. I'm willing to make a bet he's also enjoying the attention it garners on him, especially ones coming from the women. What an arse. A single glance at him and I know immediately that, one way or another, if we ever bump into each other again, my day will effectively be ruined in some capacity. He also exudes that air. The sort that makes you want to run him over with a lorry and pass it off as an unfortunate accident. With him, it's either you want to punch him or let yourself be charmed. There is no in between. I'll gladly do the honor of the former myself, but alas, there are people around us. Now I'm stuck having to face one of the two. I shouldn't have volunteered. At the time, helping out sounded like a good idea. I have no classes left today until after lunch. I could have opted to stay at Teacher's Lounge and work on my lessons plans, but that means being left alone with our deputy head and his chatter. He's a good man, but crivens, can he talk anyone's ear off? So the moment an opportunity rose, I jumped on it. It's a simple task to boot. Just deliver a whole box of materials and a few posters for an event, maybe stay around to assist if time allows it. I just wasn't expecting him to show up here. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. Had I known, I would have stayed and suffered through our deputy's impromptu speeches about his life crisis instead. Sounds like my current life in a nutshell. But what's done is done. Still my life in a nutshell.
Woe is me, why did I do this? She's talking about this, you know.
Yeah, this, yeah. No, Not my boss.
Don't have desk on the table. There's a microphone there.
I was going for, full seppuku, whatever. It is the pantomime of it. Going back is also out of the question. With how unexpectedly heavy the load I'm carrying is, I'd hate to lug this for a trip back just because my pride can't take another second of an interaction with this guy. He's insufferable, alright, but I've had my fair share of dealings with teens of more or less the same temperament, all considerably younger than him, and they listened. If he wants to be difficult like last time, so be it, but he can't be. He can bet his sorry English ass I'm not standing down. Left with no other choice, I brace myself and suck in a breath, mustering every bit of patience I have as I step into the hall. My grip on the box tightens when I pull it closer to me, and attempt to assume a low-key air as I amble towards the room. The box is not big enough to hide my face, even with the stuff piled on top, but if all else fails, I can just hit him with it. Still, a small prayer forms in my head. Bless you. If there's even one listening out there, please grant me enough restraint.
Even if there's even one? Eh?
Yeah, well, it grammatically it makes sense, but when it comes to actual sentence structure, it's a prayer to one of the many deities or gods or whatever it is in Catholic faith.
Yeah, but you have to give a subject. You have to give it a subject. You can't just say if any, even one what, even one monkey, even one.
This is a continuation of the prior sentences. This is actually, to be read in together with heavy implication.
Yeah, but you can't use implication in a novel.
No.
Still, a small prayer forms in my head if there's even one prayer is this
yes.
one reverts back to the last subject, which was prayer.
Yes, unfortunately,
So,
as I
this
pointed
is
out,
wrong.
there is wrong, but there is heavy implication.
Doesn't matter.
The
The sentence is still wrong.
Yes, okay, then fine. The sentence is incorrect, and would have a red line through it.
And even worse, it makes it hard for you to read it.
Yes,
Because it's if there's even one listening, if there's anyone would work. But anyway.
Yes, but we digress frequently. Better yet, I hope he doesn't notice me at all. That'll definitely make my life easier. Seriously, how hard can it be? He's standing a few ways from the door. Okay, you're gonna have to stop with that one. A few ways? Really?
A ways.
He's standing a ways, or a few feet, maybe a yard. A few ways?
How many is a way?
Yeah. What's that fucking measurement?
It's a henway. What's a henway? About a pound.
Your breath mellows tacos.
I'm sorry.
And there are plenty of people between us to use for cover. If I'm careful, I can just go in, hand in the stupid box to whoever's in charge, forget every plan of staying longer than necessary, and step out as soon as I can. Easy as pie. But, as luck would have it, the exact moment I reach the room's threshold, someone barrels towards me.
Hello, little girl.
She latches onto my waist before topping the sudden commotion with a gleeful squeal. I knew it was you! The force of it nearly throws me off balance, sending the item stacked atop the
box.
The box, no,
Tilting?
Thank you.
There you go.
Tilting dangerously to the sides.
Did I mention my wife stutters?
Yes.
Not new.
Not new to you, which is why I rely on you so heavily when I do.
That's good.
With the child's added weight at my waist pinning me onto the spot and both my hands occupied, watching is the only thing I'm able to do. Ooh, so one more moment.
Zenkyber.
Zankyber, slow cool, Skinny Seahorse is back again.
Mhm.
Positivity Bot, hello again. Ludge the Great, hello. Commander Root, pardon me. And
Banana
Banana.
Yeah, I was saying at the very first when I first logged in, I was like, not to be insulting, but I kind of thought that a couple of you were just like sitting here all week, like they just logged on and left it. But no, when I logged on earlier today, nobody was in here. So they're actually here. They're actually physical people, actually watching us, actually in real, actual time.
Oh, I wouldn't say actually. I'm sure some of them are passively listening at the very least. But
That's fine.
Still.
That's fine. You're here. We love you.
But still, you're hearing us, you're listening to us, you're probably hearing weird stories or weird side discretions, but hey, this is fun, hopefully.
Hey, they're back again this week. It's got to be fun. We're both like,
Woo, we're real.
you're not real, Lunch.
God damn it, I made a figment imaginary life again.
You're just a fig Newton or her imagination. And you're probably like one of those nasty dry fig Newtons. The fig Newtons.
Oh, I hate those.
I like the berry ones, like the mixed berry ones.
Yeah, but when you do find those dry ones, you're just kind of angry. Because they taste good, but your mouth is dry.
You're just like, I'm chewing a desert.
Or like someone made a shortbread cookie just wrong.
You know, shortbread cookies are the reason Danes hate their lives. It's just like, you remember those Danish cookie tin? Oh, god damn, sorry.
Where every one of those, grandmothers always had
The
like
blue-
sewing pins.
Yeah. Have you ever
It
had
was-
the cookies out of them? They're terrible.
Yeah.
They're just dry. They're like cardboard.
I think they're made to be specifically to be eaten with either a coffee or a tea.
You know what this go good with? Cup of tea.
Cup of tea. Just a nice cup of. That'd be delightful. Actually, it would be delightful.
Cola.
But alas, I have Monster because I need to drive later.
I gotta make that drive Sunday.
Oh, yeah. 2 tickets? Okay, sorry, you never got back to me.
I did too. I texted you back immediately afterwards.
I'll show you. I'll show you my
I'd
yours.
say you might. I'm glad we both went there.
Right?
That makes me happy. I told them already, and if they weren't here before,
Yeah, so I didn't get that. See? I don't delete messages. I didn't get that.
yeah, I said yes.
Okay. No, I understand. Hi, thank you.
I did say yes.
Okay, then
You
yeah,
just didn't get it.
I just didn't get it. But regardless, I still have 2.
Okay. I appreciate it.
So, Lunch, your sister and her boyfriend also have 2 tickets for Sunday. So, he gets 2. I will text you,
Okay.
and Lunch, you text your sister. I'm fairly certain I can either put it under my name or your guys' names. If I put it under my name, try to spell my last name right.
I know how to spell your last name. So.
Show me. No, show me, but tell me. Say it out loud.
No.
No. Okay. No, it's actually wrong. On both counts. 1, I have an H. 2, I-E.
I-E. Okay.
Pardon us while he corrects my name in his phone. He spelled both my names wrong.
I'm a terrible human being, and I should be killed. Yes, I know how to work my phone, surprisingly enough.
Surprising. Yeah, that's key. Yes. Okay, there you go.
Okay. That was backwards.
Yeah, it was a little backwards, which is common with German spellings. How it's the how that happens is beyond me, but
People call me Hockley, Hockey. That is not how you spell my last name at all.
because so there was actually a while back when I know I read your last name maybe a few times, like probably 5 times in my life. Going by memory of those 5 times, I couldn't remember how to spell it properly or how to say it properly. It took Lunch to tell me I was wrong. I thought it was Halloween because I was, mixing letters in between. He's like, no, it's Holly.
Holly.
I was like, nah. Aw.
I did. She hasn't said anything because she's probably working. If you get killed, live stream it, please. Oh yeah, we'll definitely live stream it. Man, our views will go through the roof.
Right?
But no, actually, it was funny because I went to the liquor store this week to buy some. Very happy. We bought orange cream liqueur moonshine.
You better share with me.
It's cool.
God damn you.
We're gonna get more.
You better.
They have orange cream, coffee chocolate, and butter pecan.
I need all 3 of those.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a mason jar, so it's not that much.
No, yeah,
But it's delicious. So I'll get some next Friday, and we'll be good.
Next Friday, or if you can possibly get it and get it through the front gates.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yes, if you get it through front gates, by all means, get it through front gates.
And
at least
give
then.
it to me.
Give it to me. If you can't get it through front gates,
Call you to the front gate.
let me know at front gate. I can probably get out there to your car. I will spare the time. I don't care.
But we digress again. I got called Michelle because the girl's like, okay, so Michelle, and I was like, now if I were French, perhaps Jean Michel, but
Right?
I'm not French.
Not even, but Michael and Michelle are... No.
She felt bad. I said you should give me my booze for free.
Right? The only reason why I can safely say all that is because my mother's name is Michelle. So
Okay.
I know. Although she has been called Michael a few times. Mitchell and Joke. But she's been called Michael a few times and it's confused the shit out of her.
That would confuse me. I'm not a... I went like this and went, nope.
Pardon me, madame? Nope.
Well, I'm not fat enough to have grown moobs yet.
I don't think you will.
I'm getting close.
I think you're too diabetic for that.
I'm fat.
You're a little too diabetic for that. No, not that diabetic.
No, I'm very diabetic. It's
No.
just that
There's a type of diabetic who's like stupidly skinny because of it.
type 1. Yeah.
And then there's the ones that, oh yeah, you're like that weird hybrid in between
Well,
almost.
most type 1s are only skinnier because they're not supposed to eat certain things, so they're on a strict diet, so
Yeah.
they don't gain weight. Type 2 diabetes, because they are overweight, typically it's because they're overweight that their body is not properly using the insulin. So
Yeah.
they still make it, they just don't use it right.
Yeah.
Me, my body says, ha ha, the enemy.
Yes.
So, I get to take shots and eat whatever the hell I want and take more shots.
Yes. But
I came back to where... Welcome back, Young. And
Hi!
yes, you did. We're talking about liquor and being fat and skinny and moobs, and both of us probably walks up and we're both going...
in our shirts.
Pardon me, we're talking about my moobs.
His moves are what might be or may not be. We're not quite sure yet because diabetes.
Out of
Diabetes.
context, diabetes. I actually got in an argument with somebody this week when they put up that damn diabetes. I hate every
Really?
time on Facebook they put up something really sugary and they're like, diabetes! And I'm like, that's not how diabetes works. You don't get it from sugar.
No!
But they wanted to argue with me and I don't care. I got in an argument about vaccines this week, the genetic differences between dogs and wolves, and whether or not they're related. They are not. Diabetes. I actually managed to stay out all the political discussions this week.
Political discussions, but life choice is you're right. Why on the counter?
Boy, you better get your ass down. Oh, sorry, that was your ears. My ears. I have to go kill my cat. She's gonna read.
Yes, I'm gonna read. I get the mouse now, and we get to go back into context. The short seconds in between slows as everything gradually slides off the box's small surface.
I would like you to look at the fact that this cat has gotten himself stuck in the handle of the trash bag from dinner.
It's a handle bag,
It's get
and he found himself in it, and just kind of stuck. Good job, Ed Shit. Under different circumstances, this would have made for a funny story for some other time. Comical even. Until another set of hands reaches out and studies the posters, threatening to take a nosedive right to the floor. Silly Cody. That's you.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is. Careful now, Daisy. Don't make a mess here.
My entire body freezes.
The kitty's name is Yurei.
So if you need to spell it out in chat, you probably should take that. Just in case. And there you go. That's the spelling of Yurei. Means shadow/ghost.
Yep. Technically, they're evil spirit phantoms. And believe me,
He certainly can be.
he definitely lives up to his name.
But hey, I remember what you said. I'm happy. Upon hearing his voice alone, an irrational impulse to hit him immediately bubbles up.
No, that would be Yuri. Kind of the same thing, but not really. No, it's Yuri,
No.
and his is pronounced Yurei.
No, not entirely. It's a little bit. It's actually quite different when you really read about it. But that's only besides the point.
So Yurei are the chick from The Grudge, or The Ring, would technically would be considered Yurei. Stop it.
Excuse me while I fry excuse me while I do a vocal fry.
No, re-
Well, no, that I already read that actually. But before my limbs could catch up with what my brain is currently screaming at me, he moves to take the burden off my arms. Irritation gives way to surprise, then confusion. It is in that moment when instinct finally kicks in and I tug the box closer to me before he can fully lift it off. What are you doing?
What does it look like? You're surprisingly so on the uptake for someone of your profession, aren't you? Bloody, doesn't this school have people for this kind of work? So much for being a center of academic excellence.
Sorry, so when Kit went in to kind of peek in and try and get through the door, Yuri was on the other side and he popped through and spooked
She just
Kit.
grabbed his head.
No, spooked Kit back for a little bit and then they had their little meh.
They had fun. They were playing.
It's fine. I am going to ignore that slight to my alma mater and my work because that's not what I'm trying to get at. You know what? Why don't we just rephrase that into something you'll easily understand? Why exactly are you doing this?
Well, you look like you could use a bit of help. Have you seen your face while you're heaving this around?
Oh, good, not the only one tonight.
Yeah, you got me going.
Hooray! Shut up!
Alma matters.
Because I said alma matters.
Yeah.
As opposed to alma.
Alma mater.
Oh, god damn it.
It's the school that I work at and probably went to.
I'm from the South where all is Al. Mister.
No, because y'all.
Other
Also, I had to
words.
explain to somebody this week that I say, one of my Japanese friends, that I say y'all in practically every sentence, and I don't notice I do it.
Do I need to start doing something weird so you don't notice it?
No, I grew
Oh.
up like this. I'm gonna have y'all in my
Vocabulary.
period. It just comes out naturally as part of my speech.
Second nature. Mister, I'm pretty sure if there's ever a look on my face, it's entirely because I saw something extremely unpleasant this morning.
Aren't you a ball of sunshine today, Daisy? Having a bad day, are we?
Oh, you have no idea.
I'd put it away if I were you. You might scare the children.
You don't have to worry about that. This isn't my department. I was just asked to bring these. Anyway, I can handle it myself, mister. The room's right over there. Behind you, in fact. Now, if you could please move over and make way, it would do the whole world some good. Keeping my voice level throughout is a miracle in itself, but regardless of how polite my request is, he doesn't budge. I hate that format, but it's true. It works, but oh. Did what I've just said merely fly over his head? Were my choice of words really that difficult to comprehend?
They could have said, did what I just say?
Exactly.
Or did what I just said?
Exactly.
The I've is superfluous and not necessary.
Yeah. Surely it shouldn't be that hard. I think he might be a little touched in the head. I'd like to ask him that, actually, but Kylie chooses that instant to pipe in.
Don't worry, Miss Pink. Teal's strong. You can leave this to him. My papa does it lots of times, but I'm not allowed to talk about it to anyone. He said it's
Confidential, Munchkin.
That's right. Teal's smart, isn't he, Miss Pink?
I'm still of the opinion he's a piece of shite, but I must admit his goddaughter's excitement is contagious as always. A smile makes its way to my lips. Not my face, but my lips. All right.
Yeah.
I know. I'm used to it being a smile to my face, not a smile to my lips.
I'm actually more familiar with smile to my lips.
Huh. Different areas of speaking with people, I suppose.
Possibly regional.
Yes. She has yet to budge from her place, though to be honest, I'm starting to lose some feeling of my stomach with how tightly she's wound her arms around it. I'm sure he is, Kylie, but I'm also sure he'll find better use of it for it elsewhere.
Like helping you out.
Well, that's one thing, but
You heard the kid.
no one's asking you.
You wound me, woman.
And I'm quite certain I can do more damage than that. Shall we give it a try? Again? He pales, stammers for a bit until he ultimately decides against saying anything and settles for a brief show of discomfort instead. He's probably having flashbacks of the last time we met. His composure, when he finally regains some of his bearings, says it all.
Okay, so I used to do, we talked about that sword fighting every weekend.
Yeah.
I've been hitting the ball so many times, it really doesn't affect me anymore. It's just like, bam! Ow. I don't double over in pain. I'm just like, ugh. Okay.
Kid, give me 1 sec. We're
I'm
good.
okay.
It's nothing short of hilarious, if I do say so myself.
I'll have you know that threats never work on me, Daisy. Not in a million years. Not ever.
You're assuming it's a threat. How cute.
That too. I'm not scared of you. Just because you landed a hit.
Oh, do go on. Keep telling yourself that.
It was a fluke, you hear? I was caught off guard and your damn book left a dent. If I end up in hospital because of what you did, I'm sending the chief of Luxbourne police after you, woman.
You don't say.
Just give me the bloody box.
He snatches out of my arms before a single word of protest exits my mouth and quickly disappears behind the classroom. Not that it matters who brings it in. My prior irritation has already melted into amusement. He's not so bad. He's not so bad once you figure out how his temperament works. It's almost similar to a child. Though, I still have to ask. Kylie, did your Tio eat something bad before coming here? He's unusually nice today. A far-fetched idea, I know, but it's the only reason I can think of why this arsehole is suddenly acting like a decent human. He's quite frankly far from being. First and foremost, we didn't end our last meeting on a good note. If I were him, I'd avoid the very person who'd put a dent in his skull, as he would so aptly put it. Why is he acting so friendly 2 days after? Let's see.
Desensitization from repeated trauma and the possible forming of calluses. Or, as one of my friends said, you shouldn't use your crotch to block shots. I'm dead. I'm just going to sit over there. I'm fine now.
All right, I'm out. Done.
That counts as a death.
There we go.
What's really funny is we didn't count anything from neck up. So if you really wanted to irritate somebody, you just go, headshot, don't count that. Headshot, don't count that. Headshot, don't count that. You're doing that on purpose. Yes.
Yes, I am. You're an arsehole.
I am.
Oh, Kareem, you're quite the asshole, you know.
Yes, I am.
Oh, dear.
Brought that on yourself.
No, I know. I'm more than aware of that. But, goodness, it was a little bit much, don't you think, oh, Kareem?
No. Not at all.
Okay.
Do-do-do.
He always is. But I made him promise to be extra nice to you since you helped me so much. I think you're going to be great friends.
I quickly stomped the urge to groan loudly or gag at that. He's the last person I ever want to be chummy with in this whole city, but Kylie doesn't need to know that. Are you sure it's not something he ate during breakfast?
I gave him some jelly babies this morning. Rowan bought me lots of them. Mama said I should share, so I offered half of it to Tio when he picked me up. He likes the black ones. Oh, Kareem, the lines I read are very odd at times.
Oh, as long as we don't go back to Cupid, we're okay.
So long as we don't get back to Cupid, oh, Kareem, I think we'll be fine.
Swear to God, if you'd have done Cupid in that voice, I'd have walked out and shot myself.
That would have been really awkward.
Mm-hmm. That'd probably get us put on a watch list.
Oh, that's probably why he's weird. Jelly baby overdose. He could have done everyone a favor and choked on them while he's at it.
Do you want some? I've got more. I couldn't find Melody or Takano, Takako this morning, but I'm sure they'll be fine sharing some of it with you.
Takongo, though, is a great name, and I love it. Takongo.
Takongo.
Sounds like you should be in Black Panther.
Takongo?
Takongo.
Takongo. Takonga.
Takanga lives in the Takongo.
Takonga is
With
just
T'Challa.
fine. No, I'm not really fond of them. I was just asking. Where's your mom, by the way?
Out of town, Papa.
An unexpected pang hits me with her words.
Yeah, look at that face.
She's just so fucking happy, it's eerie.
No, she's not. That's not a happy face.
That's the fake happy face.
Yes.
Of just, look at me, I'm
so happy for all the adults, but really they don't know the misery inside of me.
And I'm going to kill them all in their sleep.
Hopefully not. Because that'd just be weird.
Okay.
The statement, though innocent enough, unearths a whole trunk of memories from my childhood.
Takongo, a province within the country of Wakanda.
So eerily familiar. Nights spent eating dinners alone, the number of days coming home to an empty house growing with each passing year. And sometimes, several Christmas Eves spent with relatives instead of my own family. It's too late to think about it now, but when I remember, the dull lake is still there. Familiar, though lessened with the years now. Beside me, Kylie takes a step back, having gotten tired of clinging to me. There's nothing but cheer in her. She doesn't seem too affected by the fact. Although it makes me wonder how much of it is real and how much is there to mask the loneliness, if there's even one. What a lucky child. Weren't they informed of career day beforehand?
Yeah, I told them about it. Mama was really looking forward to it.
And they still left?
Uh-huh. It's important business, so it can't be helped. They promised to tell me about it when they come back tomorrow, though. Papa said he'll give me a gift if I behave. I've been good girl, right, Miss Pink?
You always are. But they asked that douche, I mean, they asked your Tio to have to look after you for this, right?
No, they didn't.
No? Then how?
It was supposed to be Tia. Mama likes her better than Tio, so she asked her, but she's sick and had to visit the doctor today. That's supposed to be a secret, by the way, but I think it's a bit confusing because Tio said she also went shopping. That's unfair, don't you think so, Miss Pink? Mama doesn't allow me to go out when I'm sick. It's still okay, though, since Tio always buys me sweets before we go home. I'm gonna ask her for a parfait today, extra large. Don't tell Takako, okay?
Listening to her like this is easy to get a picture of where Kylie's fondness for the guy comes from. She's far from excuse me. She's far from a demanding child, unless you've made a promise of some sort. She never forgets those. She'll make friends with anyone, wherever she is. Buy her a few things and voila, you're settled. No wonder she's so attached to the man. The douche probably showers her with gifts whenever he can. I can't say if the sentiment's the same for the latter, however. He doesn't seem the type, and probably just does it for the sake of getting some peace and quiet whenever he's with the girl. Classic techniques.
But before that, I'm gonna show him to everyone first. It's gonna be great. No one else is a Why? No one else has a gazillionaire for a fairy godfather. Also, when I grow up, I'm also going to be exactly like him and marry someone really handsome. Like Tia did. That way I can be awesome too.
Jesus. The shit I have to read.
I'm winning the lottery tonight, by the way. That's all I have to say about it. Tonight and tomorrow night both.
Alright.
If I become a billionaire, we're going to do this full time.
Right.
I'll pay you to be a full-time co-host. We'll stream all day.
I'd much prefer that than my current occupation.
Hey, you know what? That would be fun.
You're a much better boss than my current one.
I would be an ass. No, because I wouldn't be a bad boss because I do expect things to get done, but I understand that things have to get done in a certain way. So.
But you also know that, we are human.
If the house catches on fire, I'll let you stay home. Otherwise, be at work.
I mean, come on. I can stream while sick. I may not be able to cut while sick. Or sew while sick.
I don't want your sewed sickness.
I don't need to sew while sick. That's a bad idea. That's where mistakes happen. But no. That's a side tangent that I'll probably get into with you with our first break.
Yeah. Which is coming up soon.
Soon. There's some sort of misguided logic in there that I'd like to correct. But before I can say my piece, douchebag steps in, fresh out of the commotion from the classroom behind us, and plows into the conversation with every subtlety of a wrecking ball has. No shite given, despite no one asking for his opinion.
Munchkin, sweetie, trust me. You don't have to marry someone for that to happen.
I don't?
Just do your thing, darling. I'm quite sure you can do great things on your own without lugging around an extra baggage with you.
Tia married you.
Kylie drops the statement without any sort of preface. How the fuck do you say that? Preface?
Preface, yeah.
Because I say preface. Preface. And the moment it lands, the douche finds himself grappling with the conversation.
Mistakes happen enough when, well... It's true, but they double and triple whenever you're sick. I know I can't code when sick because I screw up and I try to fall asleep in the middle of doing my work.
I mean, that, and I don't know about you. I don't know if you sew, young BD, but sitting at a sewing machine for, hours at a time, trying to sew things together properly within, like, 1/8 of an inch can be trying on sick days.
I want to die.
But then again, there's also the regular human mistakes of just misspeaking and misunderstandings when we're well.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, those also triple and quadruple when you're sick.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's true, Munchkin, technically. But it's not the same thing.
A small frown creases the girl's eyebrows as she tries to comprehend her Tio's rather vague explanation. Let's see.
I can do a lot of things. Sadly, sewing is not one of them. I can't sew using a sewing machine.
Practice, actually. Practice on crap fabric.
Mm.
You start there, just learning your very basics, and after that, it's a matter of adjusting your timing.
I do.
Well, not timing, but thread tension.
I
That's it.
do a passably okay job at knitting, and I have crocheted before. Cross stitch is my jam, though. I did it when I was a kid. My grandmother was very adverse to video games, surprisingly enough. So when I was at her house, which I was raised there, reading, doing cross stitch. Actually, they taught cross stitch in 5th grade. When I was in 5th grade. Of course, when I was in elementary school, we also learned Cotton Eye Joe and 2 steps.
As in the line dance for Cotton Eye Joe?
No, as in the, or not Cotton Eye Joe, square dancing.
Oh, okay.
We did square dancing and 2 steps.
Very different.
Yeah, they are.
Do you
But
still?
we probably should do,
Can you still 2-step?
yeah and no. It's been years.
Can we demonstrate this later?
No.
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 Not on camera. No.
Maybe, yeah.
No, not on camera. That's like a break time thing of like, hey, can you still do this? Because I still know how to 2-step is swing dance.
I've probably forgotten everything I ever knew about 2 steps. Apparently, I taught it to somebody in high school. Because when we met up on Facebook, she's like, "You were so nice in high school. You taught me how to dance." And I'm like,
Who the hell are you?
no, I knew who she was. It was just I was like,
Or was it a really?
that was one of those points where I have the absolute memory loss.
Oh.
So I was like, don't take this the wrong way, and I know it's going to upset you, but I don't remember it. I just strictly do not remember that.
Fair enough. During one of our breaks, let's see if you remember how to 2-step. Even if it means I have to guide you for the first few steps.
Probably have to.
Just for the first couple. After that, you'll probably either get it or it'll just be flat out,
I'll
nope.
step all over your feet.
Yeah. But still, this sentence is strange. It's not surprising either when Luke tenses under the child's questioning gaze.
You did fine.
No. She switched to Luke. She's been calling him douchebag the entire time.
That's true.
That's a strange idea there.
I mean, he's starting to show humanity, I guess, is the whole point.
Possibly. It's familiar. I've seen the same look a great deal of times before. On Ashton, whenever he's trying to say something he can't quite phrase. Another second passes before the douche moves, kneeling in front of Kylie and placing both his hands on either sides of her shoulder.
Wait, no, he placed both of his hands on either side of his shoulder?
Okay.
How the hell did he do that? No.
Is that how I read? Is that how that
That's
was
how
read?
it was written.
Okay, that's how it was written.
Placing both his hands on either side of his shoulders.
Of her shoulder.
Of his shoulder. So he's got 4 hands and she's got 1 shoulder. Yeah, basically that's what he did. He just did this.
Oh, possibly. If he's standing off to the side, though.
Let's do this.
Yeah, I mean, you expect that, yeah.
Yeah.
But still.
Thanks.
Oh, I think I did not read the last sentence, though.
No, this is
No,
the one
okay,
that's
okay.
current, yeah.
Sorry. Pardon.
We're both doing that tonight. Sorry about that, guys. I ate tacos and she's drinking Monster, so.
Carbonated stuff. Kind is the last word I'll ever use to describe the man, but in this minute, there's a smile on his face I can't place. Tender, by all means, for someone who, as obnoxious as him. It's a curious thing to see. Curious thing to see, if not a bit odd.
Listen here, sweetie. Tia was already a great person before she met me.
She is? But I don't see her doing anything. She's always
Jesus.
at home.
Not always, Munchkin. Did you know she's really good at numbers?
Well, you're good with them too. You helped me with my homework once.
Well, Tia's much, much better than me. She used to do maths with big numbers.
Oh, like millions?
No, gazillions. And she's really, really good at it. So much that her dad let me manage anything. Let her manage anything that had to do with it. And that was even before she met me, too.
Does that mean she's better than you?
Leagues, Munchkin. Way, way better than I'll ever be.
Oh my god, this actually is a soft spot.
Told you he's a nice Draco Malfoy.
God damn.
But he still cheats on her and has kids with other women, so he's still a douche.
I hate rich people.
So if I win the lottery, you'll hate me.
Yeah, obviously. It is totally why I hate rich people. Again, actually, no. The subject of my tangent on our first break has to do something with that.
My thing is, if I win the lottery, you're going to know it because I'm just going to look the exact same as I do, but I'm going to do it in a nicer house.
Yep.
Because if I ever do win the lottery, I'm going to have an office all of my own that I'm going to do recording in, and it's going to have nice padded walls, and it's going to have a nice booth. And
is it going to have a nice jacket, too, where you can hug yourself?
yes. padded walls. I'm going to have all my pops, all my figurines on the walls behind me. And
yeah. For some reason, I don't think he's still talking about his wife's mathematical prowesses as his voice trails off. In fact, if I'd not been paying closer attention, I wouldn't have noticed the change in him. The slight shift in his smile, from one that's tender to something wistful, like remembering a memory he has always been fond of, but has often kept to himself. And at the fleeting glance of it, a tiny, insignificant part of the world somehow also shifts.
last week in Anime Club, someone opened their monster, causing a loud pop. Coincidentally, a suspenseful point in the anime that was playing on the big screen. Which anime? Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen it, The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime is good.
Oh, I think what Clay was telling me about that earlier.
And Goblin Slayer is really good, but the first 5 minutes of that show are brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Brutal, and I like it.
Okay, so The Time I Got Turned into a Slime, is that Hulu, Netflix, Crunchyroll?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, both of them are in Crunchy.
Okay.
Although big news about that, Funimation and Crunchyroll are parting ways. Funimation will no longer be on Verve. They're replacing it with something else. They just announced it like yesterday. So almost, from what I can tell, all the Funimation stuff is gone from Crunchy.
Oh.
So no more One Piece.
Well, that's a shame
It was
because...
only 200 and some odd episodes in.
Well,
so.
I mean, Funimation's also one of the big ones that actually does a good job.
Funimation has always had its problems with localization issues, but I go way further back than most people, so I'm old.
I know. Excuse me, Lobby Flora. You're not old.
Yes, I am. I had to explain to my children who Lum was. Urusei Yatsura. Oh my god. It was the reason I started reading Rumiko Takahashi stuff. The Ranma. It was...
Yeah.
I read Lum, and then I read Maison Ikoku, and then I read... There was another one I read, and then there was Ranma, and then there was Inuyasha. And all of those are by Takahashi.
Mm-hmm.
Lum is the girl with the Oni horns that shocks her fiance when she's mad.
That's a rock I never went under.
Oh, it's old. And the cosplays are great because she wears a tiger-striped bikini, and that's it. So
I've probably seen stills and pictures of it, and probably also cosplays, but
yeah,
they never had a tag saying, hey, here's what it is.
Okay, so I still can't get into My Hero Academia or Overlord. They were way too overhyped, and I just don't do that. Assassination Classroom, the more I see of Koro-sensei, the more I want to watch it. So
I've been told to watch Assassination Classroom, but because of who suggested it.
see, that's the thing, is there's so many, it's weird for normal people because they're like, oh, you won't watch that because this person said that or this person likes it. And I'm like, yes, I have my reasons for not. It's like Seven Deadly Sins. I'll never be able to watch it because of a entire mess around it.
No, and that's fine.
I'll just never be able to watch it. I don't watch Attack on Titan because A, it got so damn overhyped. Everybody talked about it every damn day, every damn week, everywhere. And two, I've seen what I've seen of it. I don't like. It's just not interesting to me.
It's definitely one of those very intertwined and depth ones to where if you only see pieces of it,
Yeah.
it's absolutely off the wall, asinine, weird. But if you watch it all together, that's where it all kind of comes. Well,
That's
together.
Evangelion. I mean, to be honest, Ava is very much like that. It's a great storyline and it's very philosophical and deep thinking. But if you catch like 2 episodes out of the series, you're like, okay, it's a standard giant mech, blow
Yeah.
him up, or this kid's a screaming, whining little turd and he needs to be shot in the face by the giant robot.
Exactly. Attack on Titan's kind of like that same stylistic thing of you just kind of have to start from the beginning and keep going.
I mean, if you're going to give me a giant robot when I was 13 years old and said, go shoot things in the face, I'd have been all about that. I'd have been like, give me the controls. I don't care. He's all like, I don't want to get in it because my daddy's mean to me. I was like, get in the Ava, Shinji.
God damn it.
Sorry.
Opinions changing, impressions moving.
You know what? Why don't you ask Tia the next time you have homework, huh?
Okay, next time I'll ask her to help out.
See? No need to marry a good-for-nothing bloke.
Can I also tell her to not stay at home anymore? If Tia's good at it, I'm sure she can help you too. And Papa. He computes a lot of numbers too. Tia can help him.
You go do that. I'm sure she'd love to hear it, Munchkin. Even if it's been a while since.
Another silence from him. Then, without missing a beat, he turns to Kylie around and lightly pats her shoulder, even though he was just there. And a gesture to end their conversation right here and there.
Yeah, but he pats her shoulder. He was holding her shoulder. Now
Well, I know he was
like,
holding it, but now he's actually like turned and to pat it, even though he was already like kind of.
No, he turned her
Oh,
and then patted her shoulder.
wow! I even read that and I still didn't get it. I'm a fucking idiot.
He turns Kylie around and lightly pats her shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I read it. Turns around too, Kylie, by accident.
Yeah, that's okay.
Meh.
Meh.
Either way, someone got turned. They're face to face. There's patting involved. Probably before he can say other things he's never intended to say to a child is not meant to hear. Oh dear.
But off you go first. I think I saw your friend run off into the other classroom, the one with the pigtails. Go say hi to her. You still have those jelly babies to give her, yes?
Alright. But wait for me, okay? I've got loads more to show you. They put up my drawing in the bulletin board the other day. I'm gonna take you there later. I'll be back.
She soon disappears behind the small crowd, none the wiser to the sudden change in the mood around her. Luke strains as soon as she's gone. The expression on his face grows less kind now that there's no one to reassure. Despite that, a chuckle still escapes me. His head quickly snaps at me, an accusing glare clear in his eyes. Although it's less threatening now, considering what I witnessed earlier. Funny how one person's impression of someone can easily change with that minute detail.
Why are you laughing like that?
Don't mind me, I just saw something surprising today.
There's patting involved. Patting, not petting. There's heavy petting involved. Ew. Wait. Subject matter matters.
Phrasing!
Don't lewd the lolly.
It only leads to trouble and seat wetting.
So glad someone else watches Archer, though. Don't let it bother you.
Do you want ants? Because that's how you get ants. And no, I don't watch Archer.
It's actually a decent one. It's not terrible.
You know, putting it like that wouldn't make me any less inclined to ask. What is it, woman? If this is another one of your threats, I've already told you it isn't going to work on me. That good teacher act isn't going to fool anyone.
What makes you think it has to do with you? I could have just remembered something funny. Not everyone in this world revolves around you, mister.
I'm not Daft Daisy. It's on your face for all the world to see. Now say it so we can be done with this stupid talk.
I let out another laugh, more to delay than to express any sort of amusement of the matter. In truth, I don't know where to start. One wrong move, wrong word, and I might offend the man. He's childish enough for that, even if what I'm about to say are just mere honest observations.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break, give our mouths a break.
Bleh.
Bleh.
Phrasing?
Freezing.
Phrasing!
There's patting involved. Freezing.
Give our mouth a break. Phrasing.
Well, we're going off camera, and we're, I don't know. How much mouth is there to give a break? How much break is there to give a mouth? That's phrasing. Okay, guys. We will be
back.
right back. About 5-10 minutes. goodness, we're back.
Oh goodness. Oh wait, what? Are they still getting the same thing? Are they actually still saying the game? Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Sorry for that split second. I was like, hold on.
It blacks out sometimes. So, let's see if we got anybody new.
So far,
Young Beady, Subcentral, Slow Cool, Skinny Seahorse, Land Fusion. Hey, Lamb.
oh yeah, Land Fusion is someone else that we've seen before.
Electric Longboard, you're back.
Yeah, I've seen your name before too. I guess Lunch wasn't having a good connection.
Probably.
Happens.
It happens. All right, so we've got a choice. Charleston.
So let's go back with the dialogue. Just a couple of. Let's see. So she's chuckling at the way that he
Interacted with
Kylie.
And how he was talking about. I'm sorry, I'm going to check something real quick. How he was talking about his wife.
Yeah. Let's.
One wrong move, one more. I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
He's talking about she's seen another side of him, and she's like, how do I respond to him being back to his normal everyday self?
Okay, so grammatically, you really think that, meaning that you really think that I'm giggling at you? Is that what?
Yeah, I think that's what it is, because she's all like,
Yeah. So let's just mention how he's really good at handling Kylie.
Ooh, let's see how that went, actually. I'm curious. Ooh,
Look at this.
wow.
Look at this. We're
That
way off.
jumped.
I think the whole thing with Kylie kind of
Yeah.
pushed him up to the line, and I
I-
think that line kind of pushed him over.
I think that saved it. Awesome. So let's see how this goes.
So she may not die.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Well, regardless of how he reacts, it's not like it'll have an impact on anything between us. As we just read how the relationship, grew.
Right.
I've no plans of getting too friendly with the man, though he might have some good points. Emphasis on might. The best treatment I can hope myself to give him is to stop thinking of him as a sleazy douche. Besides, after seeing that look on him, I figure someone like him can use a little compliment here and there. He probably doesn't get it much, considering how coarse he is. Coarse.
Phrasing.
How coarse his own language can get. Can't you act a wee bit polite even for a second of your life? It won't kill you. You'll easily get answers that way, instead of demanding things from people like a temperamental man-child.
I'll be nice when I want to be, woman. Don't tell me what to do.
And here I was just thinking you're doing a brilliant job as handling Kylie bleh. How you're doing a brilliant job as Kylie's guardian. Was I mistaken?
Was I mistaken? What? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Stop playing dumb. I hate to admit it, but you actually seem to be good with kids. Possibly even better than most of the teachers here. What do you know? I've expected him to just take it all in, bloat his ego more, and even brag about it. Instead, what I get from him is a sound resembling a squawk. Or maybe that's just him choking on his own pride. I can't tell above the hubbub surrounding us. But when I glance at him, only a mortified expression is on his face.
No.
No? You should be proud of yourself. At least that's one good thing about you. Isn't that nice to hear? Pretty sure not a lot of compliments get thrown around about you, how you are.
There are a lot of good things about me, Daisy. My hair, for one. There's also my extraordinary good looks. Wax lyrical about all those you want. I'd be happy to hear it any day. Praise anything about me but that.
What is so repulsive about it? Even Kylie likes you. Shouldn't that tell you anything about yourself?
Kylie is one kid, not even my own. Trust me, you do not want to see me bring a spawn of my own into this world. It'll be an abomination.
Is that what you keep telling yourself?
Maybe. Is it any of your business?
No, but if I didn't know any better, I'd say this is because you yourself think you're a little piece of shite and somehow it'll pass on. It doesn't work like that, by the way. That last remark just came out. There might be a sliver of truth in it, but I shouldn't have phrased it like that. Even for my own standards or the kind of person I'm talking to, it's still quite rude. An apology is already in my throat, but the minute I open my mouth, all of what I've prepared myself to say is just dissipates. Lost in the moment in front of me. He has turned gaze outside, staring at some point past the buildings blocking the view of the sky, equally lost in his own thoughts, probably about the birds that aren't there right now.
Have they flown past? I missed them. Oh God, the birds.
The birds. He's a vexing man under so many standards. However, in this moment, the morning light streaming from the window lends his features a certain air, softer, less severe than what he often flaunts. I might as well be looking at a different man. There's a tender note in his voice when he finds it. The words muttered under his breath, not intended for anyone else but himself. Nevertheless, it reaches my ears, unintentional as it may be.
You're right. She deserves someone far better than me.
Oh, God, he is nice. Fuck.
I knew he was, but he acts like it. He's like me. Acts like a dick, but kind of nice inside.
Oh no, then maybe we messed up with Hannah pretty badly. Well, not terribly badly, but...
Not terribly bad. Again, though, he did cheat on her, so...
He probably... Well, okay, how about this? He more than likely cheated on her.
Maybe he doesn't want to, like, have a baby with her.
Maybe. Maybe.
Like, maybe he wants a kid, but he doesn't want a kid with her. For whatever reason. I'm not... The speculation as to what's going on in this game has gotten so thrown off since we started doing each other character. It's like when it was Isabella, we're like, okay, him and her are the bad guys. They're obviously vampires, you know?
Yeah.
But now as we get further into it, it's like, okay, I don't know about Hannah. He still seems like he might be.
Yeah. But, you know...
Somehow involved in the whole evil chick thing. But...
yeah.
The word allegedly comes to mind.
Right. I mean, or it could just be like he got caught up in a one-night stand, just one wrong time, one wrong move, and then, you know...
No.
That's all it takes. But that's all it takes, though. You know that.
Yeah, but still, I don't think so, because I think, you know, Hannah talked multiple times about him leaving the house to go help this friend. And I'm sorry, but I don't think that jibes with his personality all that well.
Yeah, so maybe what happened was he probably is just fondly thinking of whoever, or Rochelle, possibly.
Yeah.
And just doesn't have the guts to stand up, or if the guts are probably is just too afraid to stand up.
I don't think he's in love with Rochelle. I really don't. I think that's more of the same reason he drinks. So he drinks because of how he feels inside and how from what we just saw, it feels more like he thinks he's letting her down. She's so much more better a person than I.
Yeah.
You know, so he drinks and he sleeps around and he acts like he does because he's trying to hide the fact that he feels far inferior to the person he married, and he really wants that... it's a very self-destructive tendency that he's working on. And the thing is, like most people with self-destructive tendencies, he doesn't want to have self-destructive tendencies. I mean, even when you're being a self-destructive person, it's not necessarily, oh, I just don't care. It's, I want to be better, but I don't see any way of getting out of the hole that I'm in to being a better person. There's no way I can ever match with her. So I might as well just throw it all, throw the baby out with the bathwater and go with it.
Right.
I think that's where he's at right now, especially considering this whole sequence of scenes.
Yeah.
Again, still doesn't make him a good person. I mean, no, people who have self-destructive tendencies are not bad people, but that also doesn't excuse their behavior, especially when it involves other people.
Yeah.
You know, Marianne and this other Rochelle or whatever, and regardless of that, regardless of his feelings, it still impacts those people as well as Hannah. So he is a self-destructive person that has kind of a point, not to the, but I think he's gotten himself to that point.
Yeah, I think we're probably just staying in the middle of the worst part of that, particular
Downward spiral.
Yeah. And I mean, in the end, even if you are in that downward spiral, what matters most is how you get out of it.
Exactly. And there's more than one. Everybody's like, oh, there's only two ways out. No, there's way more than two ways. I mean, you're talking to a depressive type 2 bipolar. I understand his feelings. That's why I can explain them. I understand them all too well. It's just that when you get to that point, you have to understand, there is more than one way out. A, you're not alone. B, and that's the problem I have with discussing mental illness with somebody who has mental illness, is the fact that everything you say is, even if you don't have a mental illness, if you're talking to somebody with a mental illness, everything you say comes across as a platitude.
Yeah.
It comes across as not meaning anything, or it's just one of those things you say.
Yeah.
So even when I see people post up and they're like, oh my God, I have all this, I'm not going to tell you to feel better. I'm not going to tell you to feel that, you're not alone, and, all those things that people say that are just these platitudes that they throw around, even though that at the moment they may say that.
Yeah.
But as it goes on down the road, they may not act on that, or it may not be a consistency of thought. What I'll tell you is, you're not alone. Much as that sounds like a platitude, you're not. I'm not going to tell you how I got out of it. I'm not going to tell you to feel better. I'm going to tell you, you're not alone. Other people have been there. And if you ever need to talk. I mean, that's it. If you've got that issue, I'm always available. Because that's really what somebody, when they're down, when they're depressed, they don't sometimes, a lot of times I think, they just want somebody to listen to them.
They want to be acknowledged.
Right.
And their feelings more so to be acknowledged.
Or even if you don't, I mean, that's why therapy is good for me, because I don't get judgmental, and I don't get judgmental, so I don't get that negative feedback. But I also don't get so much positive reinforcement of, oh, you're going to be fine, you're going to get through this, da, da, da. No, she literally just listens to me talk.
Yeah.
And it's because that sounding board allows you to, for me, it allows me to get it out of my head and into a more tangible, handleable package. And for me personally, this is not everyone. For me personally, getting it out there helps me codify it. It helps me put it in its order, and then it lets me work on it. I am nothing if not a pattern.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes all you need is just either someone to listen to you and say, okay, I hear that. That sucks. Or sometimes you need someone just to sit there and be like, no, you're not crazy. These are actually things to worry about.
Or you are crazy, but there's still things to worry about.
But these are things to worry about, and here's how we fix this.
Yeah. I don't give advice. I don't try to give platitudes. I simply say, I'm here to talk if you need to talk. If you need to vent, and know that I'm not going to sit there and judge you for what you say, and I'm not going to judge you as a person. I'm just going to listen to you. And that's what you need.
Yep, and personally, I can vouch for that.
I will listen.
I have terrible stories, but he didn't judge me for any one of those.
I don't judge people. I've done too much stupid shit in my life to judge others. When I tell people that I am a bad person at heart, I may seem friendly, I may seem outgoing, I may seem, especially on stream, especially to y'all, I may seem like a really outgoing, forward person. A, I'm shy, which is hilarious. If you ever meet me in real life, realize I probably will not talk to you for 10 minutes because I am so shy. And I have a vindictive streak that is 10 miles wide, 20 miles long, and 40 miles deep. Anger me at your own risk. Because I will either A, treat you like you're not a person and you don't exist in my life anymore, or B, actively find a way to get back at you. But the funny part is, technically, I only get back at people who hurt others around me. Somebody hurts you, I'm going after them. Somebody hurt my wife, I'm going after them. Somebody comes after me, whatever. You don't exist. I don't have to care about you.
Right.
But, anyway.
But as per usual, we digress.
A lot.
Frequently. All that talk about self-worth makes some sense now. It isn't some profound knowledge he pulled out of his arse. It has come about because he's already been there, likely still stuck in the middle of it. Preaching about your own personal experiences is easier after all.
I'm super shy and introverted, yet I work in registration at UMaCon. I'm super shy and introverted, and I worked as a teacher for 3.5 years.
No, he did. I was in his classroom. I didn't take his class, but I was in his classroom.
Lunch the Great was in my class.
Yes.
And I talked a lot, and I talk like I do on here.
And shoot, I met him in college. You know, I was just kind of hanging around, and what was it? I either said something that you agreed with, or you saw my back tattoo.
I saw your back tattoo afterwards.
Yes.
After we'd known each other for a while.
Yes, I think it was one of those, you heard some things that I said, and Lunch the Great actually agrees. Verifying that, yeah, this is true. But, like, no, I think it was probably one of those things that, like, you liked something that I said, you know, caught you, and, you know, you talked to a complete stranger, a strange girl, even.
And that's the thing is, when I was there, the job that I'm in very much influences how I act towards people.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, my first love was radio. I did journalism, so I did interviews with people. I loved radio. I loved doing it. And that's why we got... And that is honestly the reason we have a YouTube channel at all. How we started, you know, not we, but we. Now it's we. We had a YouTube channel a long time ago was because I wanted to get back into that. I wanted to get back into presentation and outwardness, and I have a lot of fun. That's why I encourage y'all to interact with us, because I really do honestly like doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I could be kind of an arsehole, but...
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
She is the nice one.
Actually, yeah. On camera, I'm probably the biggest arsehole of the actual trio, usually. And if it's not the trio, the duo.
Yeah.
Arsehole on camera, but...
She's a pretty nice person in real life. I vary on what day. The only one that really is the same here or there is Flora.
Yeah, it really is. Flora's the only one that's actually, like, completely the same. And it's not like he and I are putting on airs or faces or any sort of, like, facades. It's just we're caught in situations where we can actually take off our facades for a change.
I think it's that, and when you get on camera, and if any of y'all are streamers or YouTubers, you know this. When you get on camera, it's not that you're putting on an air or you're taking on another persona. It's more that you're doing something you like for people you like. And therefore, she's basically the same always.
Yeah.
When I'm doing this, I don't have to think about... As much as I love y'all and I interact with y'all, I don't see y'all. I see the camera. I'm literally sitting here looking at the camera right now. I don't think about... Everybody's like, how can you do that? How can you have... My colleagues at work are like, how can you have people stare at you for that long at night? I'm like, I don't have people staring at me. I have a TV staring at me. I have a camera staring at me.
We stare at a TV, we see a camera, and we see occasional names and words.
And when I'm on microphone, if you don't see me, I'm still in front of a microphone. I'm talking to the microphone.
Yeah.
And I know you're out there. I know you're watching, and I'm interacting with you, but it's not like being in front of a classroom. And I'll tell you, every time I was in front of a classroom, I was nervous. Because there are people staring at you, either classroom people. Those people I generally could deal with.
Yeah.
It's like when we had somebody standing outside in the hall, though,
Uh-huh.
or we had a parent come in or an administrator come in.
Oh yeah.
It's stressful.
Yeah.
And so it tears down that confidence. But anyway.
I mean, it's not always lack of confidence. It's just people like us, we've had to learn how to put on a face for the public.
We have to smile and play nice.
We have to actually smile for a change, not just keep our regular faces. Where was it? You have the face for radio, and if I don't smile, I have somewhere between resting bitch face. I look depressed or what have you.
I always look angry.
Everyone assumes I'm upset if I'm not smiling, so I have to smile in front of people because otherwise they don't think I'm unhappy, and it's frustrating.
To me, my problem is not that. My problem is the fact that I don't smile a lot because I don't really have a reason. It's not that I'm unhappy or anything. It's just I don't have any particular reason to smile. And my teeth were so bad for so long.
Oh yeah.
That smiling, when I first got my dental work done, I didn't smile at all, and it still feels weird to me when I smile. And you'll notice that when I smile, I don't show my teeth because my teeth were so bad that I avoided smiling in public. I avoided smiling at all.
I mean, shoot, you still hit your teeth whenever you try and toss things in your mouth.
I do, because I have teeth now. My diabetes had seriously wrecked my teeth. I'm not going to make any bones about that. It wrecked my teeth.
Yeah.
But now that I got, shiny ones, I still don't smile. I still don't. And when I do things like that, it makes me feel weird.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that doesn't feel real. It feels fake.
I mean, granted, the teeth are fake, so.
Yeah, well, no, but it feels my face doesn't make that shape anymore. Now I'll smile. I agree with him. I've got that cocky smirk,
Yeah. No, you do, and I mean, shoot. So he has a picture in his, living room. So on the wall you can't see. There's a picture of him and his family.
Mm-hmm.
Still no teeth showing through. He's got a smile.
Wife is smiling with her teeth. Girl was smiling, and that's back when my daughter had pretty much all of her teeth, bad teeth that run in our family. Almost all of her teeth up front were silver.
Yeah.
Because they had to have crowns on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's smiling. Wife is smiling. Boy smiles like me. He's just like.
Yeah,
but even doing this, even when my mouth closed, smiling doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
I smile a lot on camera because, again, I am doing this for you. I am trying to entertain.
Yes.
And it's because I like entertaining people, and I like educating people, and I like having fun with people.
But
just not in real life.
We still but again, we still get to relax a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a hard habit to get back into once it's gone. Yeah, and
Right.
I didn't smile for years. I moved down into Houston when 2000, and I didn't get my dental work done until about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I spent that entire time not really smiling. So yeah, it's a hard habit to get into after half your life is gone.
Yeah. But back to less room for mistakes, more for a dose of self-loathing. What a complicated man. Just when you thought you've already figured him out, he does one thing and says the other. People like him are the most difficult to gauge, far harder to understand. Yet it might be exactly for this reason why some are so easily charmed by him. It's the mystery that catches them, of wanting to find out what's underneath that bravado. I won't count myself among those yet. His winning personality isn't exactly my cup of tea. But sometimes, once you get a glimpse of what's beyond the machismo, empathizing with the man isn't such a steep hill to climb. If the comfortable silence we share now tells us anything, that is. Perhaps this is all as closest to friendship as we can get. Several insults flung around with a few shared silences in between, and that's not exactly a bad thing. He's not exactly a bad guy either, despite the awkward start we've had. Maybe it's for this reason I can't resist throwing in a little comment to lift the mood before leaving him. You know, Luke, you're not such a bad person.
Is that supposed to make me feel better? I'm touched, Daisy.
Take it how you will, but a little attitude change would help. A lot.
Oh, bollocks. Right, of course, let me know when you're done with your lecture, ma'am.
And you can probably start by not leaving your wife out while you're having some quality time with your goddaughter. Who knows? Maybe that'll help change how the child sees her.
Where did you even get the idea that I'm leaving my wife out? Have you ever even met?
Aha, she has, but she doesn't remember that. No, no, but I did see her with you two last time. Yeah.
When we was going by in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I did see her with you.
Last time. With you two last time.
With you two last time.
Which is what she's talking about. You remember she got
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I know. His indifferent expression quickly dissolves into a confused scowl, while I meet with it matching perplexity. It has only been 2 days. Surely his memory is not that bad.
What? When was this?
At the cafe, after you left. She was sitting right beside you. Kylie was in the back and you were driving.
Daisy, are you sure you haven't accidentally hit yourself with your own book? 'Cause that damn thing's quite thick and I'm getting worried about you. It's only been a few days and concussions can be dangerous. I suggest you have that checked.
Well, you asked. I just answered. It's pretty rude to make her wait like that, by the way.
How can I make her wait when she's not even with us?
What?
It was just Kylie and I that night.
Now you're pulling my leg. Luke exhales, long and drawn out, his impatience rapidly changing the companionable air around us. In the face of it, I tense. I've accidentally stepped into another minefield. Any chat I've had with him so far has been like this. Why this still surprises me escapes me, but above my worries of offending the man is my own bewilderment. I remember well enough what I saw that night, yet he says something completely different.
Wifey was out with Kylie's mummy that night. She wasn't with us. How do you think I ended up being on babysitting duty?
But in the front seat, and Kylie's Miss Pink? Kylie
Aww.
sobs, reach into my ears first, and then her familiar weight returns around my waist. Hot tears seep through my blouse as she buries her face in it, her arms winding tightly around me.
Woohoo, wet t-shirt contest, but...
But from the waist down, it's not as fun. Luke and I briefly exchange worried glances, his own lips shut tight with concern. Her cries are soft enough not to attract much attention. Most of the visitors have been ushered inside their rooms by now anyways. Those that still linger, though, watches our little group with great interest and concern. If I don't get a better handle of the situation, I have a feeling Luke will start yelling at everyone soon. Kneeling down, I gently pull the girl away from me, cupping her face and wiping her tears away, creating little trails on her cheeks. Her mouth is drawn in a miserable pout when she peers up at me. All right, Kylie, calm down. What happened?
It's my friend.
That's a little too vague, Munchkin.
Let her speak, Luke. Who is it, Kylie? Melody? Or was it the other one?
Yeah.
Did the two of you fight? She nods, then immediately clams up after, letting her sobs communicate the story instead, or as much as her shaking shoulders can tell me. Right behind me, Luke gives a nervous huff while he shifts on his feet. He must not be used to having children crying. What a wuss. Sweetie, I won't be able to help you if you don't tell me what happened. Seconds pass before she responds again. The tears are already gone when she finally musters the strength to talk, her cries subsiding to mere sniffles.
I wanted to give her the rest of the jelly babies, but she won't come out.
Where? Where is she?
I have a really bad feeling about this.
I know, right?
In the girls' room.
Is she still there? Another nod.
She won't say what's wrong. I kept asking her, but she told me to go away. Career day's gonna start soon. I saw the prizes Miss Alice will give us if we're good. She's gonna miss it.
Is that what you told her?
She done died.
No, she done did.
She done dead. Don't say that. I actually kind of had a moment there where I was just like tensing up.
Right?
Yeah, she won't listen. She won't even take the jelly babies after I saved it for her too. Tio Luke wanted to eat the red ones, but I told him it's not for him. Miss Pink, can you talk to her? Tell her to come out, and I'm really upset with her.
Ah. Just a little childish argument then. In times like this, I'm glad I teach teenagers mature enough for petty squabbles. Oh dear. I do love being around children and won't mind having one or two of my own in the future, but it takes a whole different level of patience to teach several of them. I honestly admire my colleagues who willingly took the challenge. Normally, I'll leave this for their homeroom teachers to fix, but I can't just ignore the imploring look she shoots me. That's another weakness I'll have to steel against myself against before I ever think of having one of my own. For now, I give in to it.
I still got that sinking feeling in my pit.
Right?
Okay, tell me where she is, sweetie.
Sighing, I stand up and gesture for her to lead the way. Luke trails quietly behind us. Even with the small distance in between, his apprehension is palpable, understandably so. No one wants to be caught in the middle of a children's spat. But in the end, this is all just part of my job. I can't just shy away from it, can I? Kylie escorts us to an adjacent hall. At this hour, the corridors and the rooms lining the sides are empty.
Except it's got the same room number and bulletin board. Just saying.
It's a really big room. Save for the gentle rustling of leaves, the twittering of birds outside, and the tapping of our foot against the floor, the whole area stays eerily quiet. Not unusual, though. This part of the building is reserved for club activities at the end of the school day, and with the rest of the school busy with other events, it's only natural for it to be this deserted. Come afternoon or after class, it'll once again be filled with people. For the time being, I focus on the toilets at the far end, heading straight for it. And then we save the game because we feel like something bad's probably about to happen.
Something bad is happening. I've got that aura of oh crap. Spooky. She acts like she's in a horror movie again.
Right? One of the dumb characters.
Betting she'll act like she's in a horror movie again.
Right? Oh, it's probably just the wind. Luke stays behind, opting to wait for the end of this drama instead, obviously not wanting to deal with another person's kid. Meanwhile, Kylie follows right after me, unusually silent as we approach the ladies' room. Sometime before I made the turn down the hallway, she had stopped sniffling and started singing a tune under her breath.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady.
Probably to brace or calm herself, or maybe this is her way of preparing to pull her friend out of her sulk. It certainly reminds me of another person. I make no remarks on it, however.
We know she doesn't die because she goes to the party, but still.
It's all part of growing up, they say. Let her learn. Yes.
It's always the wind. Nothing to see here. Pardon the dead body. Nothing to see. Nothing to see.
Yeah, move along now. Pardon me. The door is slightly ajar when we get to it, and from inside, the sobs of a girl echo weakly, apparently audible, even in this kind of hush. I'm not sobbing. Turns out Kylie's not the only one who's sad about this. Despite the situation, a smile forms in my lips as I call out to her friend. Hello? Hello there. You're Cully's friend, aren't you? Melody, is it? She's looking for you. Children can be so amusing sometimes. Granted, they can be exacerbating, especially around this age, but the endearing things about them outweighs those. All you need is enough level of patience. Career day is about to start, too. You'll have to come out or you're going to be really late for it. Miss Alice will be happy if one of her kids isn't there. I heard she's bought little gifts for everyone who'll behave. Don't you want to receive one? However, her cries show no sign of abating. They only grow louder.
I'm betting there's crying going on.
Probably.
I can't hear it, man.
Neither do I. Oh, is your soundbar off again?
Probably. Yeah, it is. We need to hear it too. We want to get spooked by it.
Even though Flora's not here, so she can't get spooked with us.
Yeah, the
Poor
only one of
Flora.
us that really does get freaked out by it. I mean, I'm uneasy. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm uneasy. I've
You're
got that whole-
uneasy, I'm unfazed, and then there's Flora.
I actively get into horror movies, though. Even horror movies people think aren't scary, I get into them because I willingly want to get scared. That's the whole reason I'm doing it.
I can't, after growing up with a mother who scared the shit out of me for years and years on end, it doesn't. And scaring me is a bad idea. As Lunch the Great learned, it's a bad idea.
Well, startling me is a bad idea. I don't like startle. But this is that. Okay. That's not okay.
That's the sobbing that we
I
were
know that's
hearing.
not okay. This is why I like H.P. Lovecraft type stuff, where it's building tension and not just, oh my god, he's gonna stab you.
But how
How can
can
her friend get a gift for behaving if she doesn't have a corporal form?
Excuse me while I choke on my own spit.
We don't have an idea either.
I mean,
we're playing it blind, so.
we are. But if Kylie's any proof from earlier, children are easy to just take over and take their form and, you know.
I will murder you all.
Stuff like that. Not close to a whale. Alarming, regardless. Are you okay? From where I'm standing, it sounds almost like she's in some kind of pain, and it's not impossible. They do that at times, hiding what ails them for fear of reprimand. If it's like that, coaxing her out might be useless. It also makes sense why she chose the loo furthest from their classroom. Wasting no time, I gesture for Kylie to wait and amble towards the door, calmly, so I don't alarm her. At the same time, a distinct sense of deja vu hits me. I've been in this position before. Behind a door with someone crying on the other side, my call is ignored as their cries grow into a wail. Just this past week, actually. Even so, being in the same situation before doesn't bring any comfort. I'm putting up for the child beside me. Is the thick undercurrent of worrying trickling into my stomach?
Nope, that doesn't make any damn sense.
Okay. Huh. I take one last breath, then I nudge the door open. It all happens in the span of a second. I don't make it past 2 steps into the room.
First moaning Myrtle, now this. That's a lot of tears to turn into a whale. You do realize this is going to be a Sayori incident.
Why does it always come back to Sayori?
Because most of the people on the channel get that reference and not other ones I can make.
I mean, true. Her cries abruptly stop.
This is exactly what happened to Hannah. This is exactly what happened to friggin'. I mean, this is a recurring theme.
Mm-hmm. Light footsteps shuffle behind me, coming to a halt at the door. My heart skips a beat. And when I turn, Kylie?
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Miss Pink, Miss Pink, why didn't you help her?
My whole body becomes motionless at the sight of her. Words catching in my throat and heart pounding roughly against my chest. This is Kylie, I'm sure of it. Yet nothing in the manner she speaks or the way she tilts her head in question carries the youthful, innocent vibe she always brings with her. As if I'm merely looking at the dead, hollow imitation of a child.
Can't you hear her? She's asking for your help.
But it's not that trigger. It's not those that trigger a memory. It's those chilling eyes, calling, beckoning.
Why won't you listen to her?
All at once the memory returns to me. A tide that recedes and now returns to shore with an overwhelming force, carrying images of a single moment from days ago. Of a world passing by in a blur and of features I can barely discern under the light, that what little light there was. Not even a week has passed. And this minute, while I keep my eyes trained on the child before me, they return with such unbearable clarity. There are no horrid wounds this time, no blood streaming down the pale face, thank heavens. Just lips contorted into a small, twisted smile. They brim with venom I've never expected to see in a child, sending tiny pinpricks of dread crawling up my limbs and winding up my neck.
You're a bad person. People like you deserve to die.
I can't breathe. Those whispers and laughers again. Judging, mocking, taunting, each scathing word ripping sharp and true against my ears. My throat closes in. My whole body tenses. A chill settles at the tips of my fingers, every digit gone rigid from the cold. With every single draw of breath, any struggle for air or freedom, the coils wrapped around my body tighten, dragging me down. A gradual, torturous descent into another bottomless abyss. Help! On and on and on, until I lose touch with myself and the world. Help me! Until darkness claims me and, unexpectedly, a note. In the distance, harsh and piercing, cutting through the thick stupor and the shattering haze without warning.
Are you ladies done with your business here? I don't have all morning to wait for you two.
My eyes snap open and the world shifts into place with a ragged gasp. When I glance up, a different set of eyes greet me.
Are you okay, Miss Pink?
No anger, no violent hatred in them, just plain, sincere concern. Bit by bit, I can become aware of my surroundings and myself as warmth suddenly slips back into me. I've reached out for the nearby counter to steady myself at some point, and my knuckles have gone white from how rigid my grip is on it. It's over now, yet the tension has left my body. My heart still hammers against my chest in an erratic rhythm, and my breathing still comes in short, shallow bursts. Before me, Callie fumbles with her hands, utterly unsure of what to do as to an adult, in what's probably a laughable state.
Did you get sick? I'll call Tia, okay? Stay here and don't move.
No, I just leave me alone.
Tia will know how to fix you. Wait, okay?
I wish I could speak reassurances to her, but I can't shake it off. The dread is there, twisting at my insides in anticipation. Of what? I'm no longer sure. Pushing myself off the counter, I break off into a run, brushing off the anxious look Kylie gives me when I gently push her away on my way out, or the furrow on loose brows when I stumble into him outside. Whatever they both saw in my face, I care not to know. Bloody hell, I don't even understand what's happening anymore. The tremors continue long after the last of my classes have ended. The birds fly by the window as always. Although none of my students have commented on it, I've caught a few sharing anxious glances.
And again.
Every time a pen slips through my hand or my shoulders tense whenever called.
And again.
How unusual it must be for them to see the normally composed Miss Gales become a bundle of nerves. Even the most boisterous ones have given me less grief today. You'd think being on my fourth cup of tea would provide any sort of comfort. It doesn't look like tea, but okay. Or is this the fifth? Egad, why does counting matter now? The fact that I can't easily shake it off this time should tell me something. The last time this happened, I passed it off as some lapse in my part, after having been sickly before. And it is a natural conclusion. Those are just stories. A centuries-old lore passed by locals to keep children in line. What place doesn't have those? One of my Da's books even went as far to describe them as strong parts of Isabella's culture. 3 giants, women who feed on unborn children straight from mother's womb, or hell, there's even one story about a demon baby. All folklore that never had a smidgen of truth of it. Most probably told to scare off the natives there back in the old days. Much like every other one in every other place. The world is more universal than people care to think.
I've always said that, though. I think it's the other way around. I think that the stories are more likely to be true because there was so much separation where they developed.
Yeah.
And you had vampire stories that they had them in England and they had them in China. And we're not talking that when the trade routes were going. We're talking well before any of that. Even, in Australia, the Aborigines had those same stories, the same stories.
Yeah.
It's not like they spontaneously had vampire stories all over the world.
Yeah.
He said neat.
I know he said neat, and I'm just kind of lost as to where.
Back when the psychopath appeared.
Oh.
He was just like, neat.
Right. But looking at it from where I'm standing now, after staring right into the eyes of that woman, after all the things I've been hearing and feeling, perhaps.
Why do so many cultures have their own forms of dragons?
Ooh,
Again,
yeah.
well, dragons has a more concrete reasoning to me because most cultures dig. And
Mm.
most cultures could find dinosaur bones. So, they're digging out a pit for water, they're digging out for burial, and they dig up a dinosaur skull. I mean, that, obviously, they gotta have some kind of lore surrounding why this gigantic thing with huge teeth, so they developed it. Now, I would see it more the same way if all dragons around the world developed the same lore. So, Chinese dragons look the same as European dragons, but they don't. They look completely different. They only have the head shape that's similar.
Yeah.
So,
Perhaps there's really more than that bloody letter than some awful Halloween prank. Perhaps Isabella's right all along. A terrible thing if true. Though that thought doesn't linger long, thankfully. Soon the ringing of my mobile takes my attention away from it.
she is not right.
She is not right.
Who's not right?
Who's not right?
Her? Oh, Marianne.
Marianne! Oh god. Okay. I got this.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I guess I didn't read that line, though. Not that it's okay. An unfamiliar name flashes before me once the screen lights up and my brows knit together. Marianne McCullough. Staring hard at the screen, I try to remember when I've entered this person onto my contacts list. It takes a moment, but when it clicks, my eyes zeroes in on the book lying wide open on my table. Loaned out from the library almost a week ago. I met the woman there by sheer coincidence. A fellow history buff, apparently.
By the way, hi, Kustos.
Hi. We were after the same book, but in the end, she's given it to me under the condition that I call her once I'm done. To be honest, I've completely forgotten all about it until now, and well, I haven't really taken a peek at it till today. Normally, I'd be done with the whole volume of this size after a few days of taking it out. Oops. About one or two, depending on how busy I am. But finding a chance to sit down and read through it has been more difficult lately than I anticipated.
My phone does read that long. It doesn't have the setting for 3 rings. It rings a lot. When I actually have it on ringer.
Right. One moment I'm busy simply grading worksheets, attending movie premiere. The next, then someone suddenly invited me out for one reason or another. Days later, a friend stops showing up in their flat right after worrying about reports pop up in the local news. There simply isn't enough time to breathe and get a grip on things. I have been flipping through the pages of said book moments ago, though never really reading anything and really hoping for a distraction. To no avail. My phone gives another ring, and this time I do not hesitate to answer. Marianne. Hello. Here I was starting to wonder if it was a bad time to call. Is it? No, not at all. I just missed my last class a few minutes ago. I'm pretty much free for the rest of the afternoon. Unless something comes up. Is this about last time? The book? No, not really. I was happy to talk to you about some other thing.
Okay, I'm going to take 1 second to point out something nobody else is. How the hell did she get a picture of her for her phone? And how the hell did she look at the picture and go, I don't know this person?
Right. Right. Oh, sure. What about? You grew up in the city, didn't you? It's a peculiar question to ask someone you've just met, but I answer nevertheless. I'm more curious where she's heading with this by starting out with that. Born and raised, 3rd generation migrant. Why do you ask? So, you must be familiar with that local lore, the, stories? Let's see. She said she doesn't recall adding her to her contacts list. I mean, this is also true. Very, very true. Huh. Weirdness of the story. But alas. Quite. If I'm going to teach about history, I like to think I am, yeah? But a family friend would be a better person to ask. If you want, I can contact him for you. No, let's just keep this between us, okay? It's nothing too big, and Alright. I really don't know who else to put this without sounding a bit crazy, but things have been really, odd. Do you remember the mansion I mentioned back when we met? My current project? In hindsight, I should have expected to lead to this. She must not have lived here long if she's just asking about this now. It didn't take a week with Isabella when she arrived, but that's Isabella. Superstitious down to the last hair. Though it won't be too far to think Marianne has only started thinking about this recently. She's working on the damn house itself. I must admit, even I'm curious now, despite living here for so many years and having so many chances to look it up before. The Ermengarda mansion, yes?
Yes, that's the one. And the thing is, oh dear, this is a bad idea. You know what? Just figured I ever called you about this. It must have been the sunny weather. It's making me sick and say stupid things. See things? No, wait. It's all right. I don't mind. There's a moment's pause before she responds again. She's right in that this is a silly thing to talk about, especially between what I assume two people who are pretty grounded on their beliefs with regards to these things. I won't blame her if she hesitates. Ugh, I can't believe I'm asking you about this.
I'm back.
It's fine. Why don't you just think of it as some form of research?
She said she doesn't recall adding to the context.
Yeah?
Yeah, but, I mean, okay, I'm fine with that. I'm just not fine with the fact that she doesn't remember what she looks like. Even I, with my terrible memory, would look at it and go, okay, that's the chick from the library.
Yeah. Well, all right. But after this, we're going to forget we ever had this talk. My lips will be sealed.
Okay, what are we talking about? I'm sorry.
Oh, the lore behind the Ermengarde, I imagine. Because Marianne has just seen the
spooky ghost thing.
that wookie spooky.
Has she?
I believe so. Well, not necessarily the wookie spooky, but she's probably seen the oh god, what's her name? The girl from our high school.
Yeah.
I think she's just seen the girl from our high school, and is starting to kind of freak out a little bit.
Right.
And here we go. We actually are reading things and going, what the fuck?
Well, mine is more because I think this...
Well, I mean, we've never really read this. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So this is... The 27th is the day that we're dealing with, but it's from the perspective of something else. Let's see. Zach.
Well, this was... Yeah, the pictures of Hannah.
Yeah,
this
so
is today.
Yeah, that's today. That's our stuff that we're currently dealing with. But this is also
This is where
Zach
he perfect.
and Zach. And this is the day after, when she starts seeing Lorraine.
Excused herself from attending the housewarming party to search for Amy Lorraine.
So this is after like her dream where she sees Lorraine more vividly.
Well, that means that the stuff she's talking about it here, but it doesn't happen to her till tomorrow.
No. Remember, before that she had it. So this is today.
Right. But this is when she's talking to Rebecca now.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow she's going to disappear into the cellar.
No, I'm talking about something different entirely. So remember, the day before, or either the day before or the day before that, she had a bad dream about Lorraine. Right. Not the event you're talking about.
Right.
The event you're talking about, which hasn't happened yet, is when she goes to find Lorraine.
Right.
I'm
That's
talking
what
about
I'm saying.
before that. No. You're what you're saying is that, you know, we were looking at this from a perspective that hasn't happened yet. And I'm trying to tell you that there's that little bit of what she's seen.
Marianne has seen at least something.
Yes.
She's had the dream.
Yes.
Now we have Becca who's had the dream. So she's coming to Becca to say, hey, here's the lore about this place. What do you think about it? Because now she's trying to get a touchstone of someone else who believes.
Not believes, but, you know, someone else who she also finds as grounded as her.
Right.
Trying to see if she's crazy or not.
So tomorrow, she goes missing.
Yes, tomorrow she goes missing.
And we'll see what happens with Becca's timeline at the same time.
Yes.
That's what I was getting at.
Trying to get at, but not fast enough for my brain to be like, are you actually there? Still Zachary. And then
this was her disappearing.
Yeah, that's her disappearing. That's Hannah.
And then the chief inspector's wife. Oh, I forgot it was the chief inspector. And then Zach went out and
Yeah.
had a dance
With Hannah.
with Hannah.
Yes.
So tomorrow is when all the weird shit hits the fan.
Because that's the party.
Right.
Now, what is that about the mansion?
It's always the wind after all.
You're right. You're right.
Nothing to see here. Move along. Have you ever seen, I think it's Police Force or Naked Gun, where Leslie Nielsen's standing in front of the exploding building and go, nothing to see here. Move along.
I think so.
Leslie Nielsen was a goddamn treasure.
Just, what do you know about it? The general gist. The place's past. What happened to the owners? Anything you can give me. Let's see. To start off, I do my best to give her a concise summary. From the time the house was commissioned 400 years ago and who had built it. Up to the point it got deserted after the last heir's death and the deed was passed on to the Ermengarde's nearest relatives.
I read the same thing. I was like, Dad, what? Oh.
I mean, you can do that.
Yeah.
It's just not common,
I mean, they've already done it a couple of times. But...
apparently. Frankly, if it weren't for those urban legends persisting, the house would have already faded into obscurity long ago. Demolished, even. These are all nothing she probably hasn't heard of before, yet there's dissatisfaction in her tone once I finish. That's all there really is to it. As far as I know, there's this little bit I forgot to mention about Lady Charlotte Ermengarde's death, but most of those are just theories. Aside from that, this is really everything we've been teaching all these years.
Well, that's a major plot point.
Right.
Because they just yada-yada'd over it.
Right. Should there be anything more? No mention of any of the weird stuff, other crazy stories, or a letter of some sort. My blood runs cold. Any warmth and comfort the tea I drink has given me prior has instantly been drained out of me. The phone creaks softly as my light hold on it turns into a firm grip. This whole letter bullshit is starting to turn into more than a coincidence. None that I've heard or read of. What does that letter have to do with this? Oh, no, it's just something I came across. Ignore it. Random thoughts, you know? By the way, I need to run. Thanks for answering my questions. She ends the call abruptly with only a clipped goodbye, leaving my mind heavy with even more thoughts. The mood around my classroom has gotten considerably denser, in light of what I've gleaned in the conversation. I don't think Marianne's lying about her intent. Her interest is genuine. I'd give her that. But she's left out a lot. I get the sense she only asked because something's happened around her too, and if she hadn't mentioned the letter, I probably would have made the same connection. Good God.
Yeah, the haven't just kind of locked both of us up. My brain hit that and went, it's almost right, but it's not right. Why?
If she have not mentioned... Ah! No!
If she had not mentioned, not have not mentioned.
Right.
God, that one hurt. That one was one of those where it just slammed the brakes on my brain so hard that it was like, ow.
Huh. Did I just hit a track? Oh,
Do I
God.
smell burning toast?
Nope, just tacos.
Tacos.
Just what the hell do we get ourselves into? Of course, there's still a lot of confusing details in this. All of these are just assumptions. No concrete conclusions to be formed in what we have. And if we want to find out what we're really dealing with, I think Marianne's right.
Good thing she's a history teacher.
Right? There might be something more to those stories. As absurd as it sounds, the very place that gave us the letter might tell us something beyond what we know. And tomorrow night, I have a few hours of that chance at the housewarming party. We're gonna see some spooky shit.
Spooky, spooky.
Spooky.
Spooky, spooky.
Totally not an exciting thought since the place is privately owned now. I can't just wander around. But it's enough reason to keep the dread at bay as I step out of the room ready to put an end to this day. However, all of those good vibes disappear into thin air when I run headfirst into Luke. There's really something in this man. Regardless of how much my opinion of him has changed over the span of a few hours, he simply blasts through every good impression people have of him without care of thought. He doesn't even need to open his mouth. His mere presence does it. In all honesty, I think he's the kind of guy he's the kind of guy only a mother can love. You're still here?
Obviously. Why do you think... Who do you think's standing in front of you?
An arse.
Oh, come on, Daisy. You've done better than that. Losing your touch.
Luke, I don't have time for this. I'm heading home, and your face is the last thing I want to see before I leave. What do you want? But lately, I notice his hands. Partly raised, almost poised for a knock. At a slight lift of an eyebrow, he quickly drops it to his side and returns to Kylie. She is standing a few steps away from him, holding her hands behind her back and toeing at something on the floor with the tip of her shoe.
Nope, nope, nope.
She's toeing at nope. Then he proceeds to make a vague gesture at me and the child. He resembles a fish popping up for air in the way that he's moving his arms, though I think he's trying to urge her to speak up.
Munchkin, I thought you wanted to tell us something.
You do it, Tio.
This wasn't my idea, darling.
Don't worry. I won't tell Tia what you told me the other day and this morning.
Luke's exhale is so surprising. I just got stumbled.
Brain.
Brain stopped. Forgot the soundbar was on.
Me too.
Luke exhales, rolling his eyes at the ceiling and maybe praying for the universe to grant him more patience. He knows a losing battle when he sees one. He may act worse than a 5-year-old throwing a tantrum at times, but he's no match for an actual child. Nothing better than being served a dose of his own medicine, huh? Once his frustration has been promptly let out, he points a rude finger at me. I do my best to stare the offending digit down, but I can already hear the demand before it's even out of his lips.
You come with us.
What makes you think I will?
Because the little rugrat here is upset and worried, and it's your bloody fault. I've no idea what happened this morning, but if you don't come with us, I won't be hearing the end of it from her. So do me a favor, Daisy, and just be glad I'm inviting you.
You're asking for a favor and you can't be bothered to be polite? I don't know. It's been a really busy day for me. I kind of miss my couch.
Daisy, you just say yes.
A pause follows, almost too dramatic. Afterwards, his face twists into something between a grimace and a smile. As it happens, he appears like he's in a lot of physical pain. You'd think the man is getting an aneurysm by simply being polite.
He's blushing.
I know, right?
Please.
Tia said it'd be his treat.
What? I said no such thing, Munchkin. I only agreed to this because you requested it. I'm under no obligation to feed her.
I promise I'll be quiet the next time I visit.
Oh, all right. Just one meal and make it the cheapest.
He and Ashton will go along famously on that department. On a different front, the offer for free dinner does sound enticing, however half-heartedly given it is. Mostly because Kylie has wisely put her puppy eyes on, and by the second I find all my choices slipping away from me.
See, Miss Pink? It'll be fun. You don't have to feel sad anymore, okay?
Well, my mobile buzzes from my pocket, cutting me mid-sentence, and for a second I'm spared from the act of giving an answer I'll regret either way. Fishing the gadget out, I wave a hand at him and excuse myself. A disgruntled expression on Luke's face before I turned away. I'd be lying if I'd say it didn't amuse me. He's as eager to be done with this as I am, but what can I do? Checking, a message from Ashton shows up. Oh.
Hey, Becca, I'll be around Salemville this evening. Need to meet someone in the area. I might have to drop by yours and Isabella's place. See ya.
Just the usual. Unlike what he does to Zachary, Ashton has the decency to let us know when he's dropping by or he's in the area for some business. From the way it's phrased, it sounds like the latter. Either way, I'm glad he's at least aware of that boundary. Not that Isabella's ever going to let him leave the building unscathed if he ever pulls the same stunt he does with the other man. I cringe to imagine what she'll do to him. Sighing, I slip the gadget back into my pocket. But looking up to see Luke's utter impatience on his face, I now face a different dilemma. The two of them are still waiting, and knowing the kind of person Luke is, this is already a grand gesture of goodwill coming from him. All to please his godchild. His denials aside, it's easy to tell he's really fond of Kylie from his actions alone. I kinda hate to ruin that.
Well, Daisy, we're waiting here.
On the other hand, there's Ash. His message doesn't exactly imply he's going to wait or expecting me to be there, but there are matters I hope to discuss with him in person, to put it simply. Housewarming party matters. With inviting Isabella out of the question, I only have Zachary and Ashton. Although the former has already made it clear he'll be busy this week, and well, Ashton has been my first choice from the start. Even if he detests attending gatherings like this, it's the company that counts. We can be miserable together. But that's the problem, isn't it? He hates them, and it's very likely his answer will be a flat no. I'd rather not hear that. If by some miracle he agrees to it, he'll probably be sulking the whole party. Not really a tough choice when you put it like that. Still. Tough choice, but I have to pick one.
I kind of want to make Kylie happy, but I'm a sucker for kids, so...
Yeah, I guess let's save and then see how relationships go. And if we don't
Do we really want to save Scum?
I don't know, because, well, how do we stand right now?
Let's see. We're still really good with Luke. We're still kind of under with Ashton. Again, she doesn't want to hear no. So if she hears no, it may tank their relationship even further.
Yeah.
If he says yes, then it still may tank their relationship a little bit more because the party.
Yeah.
I think saying no to Luke will bring him down for sure, but I don't know how much.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really hurting his relationship with Kylie, and that's not a great idea because he's like attached to the little demon child.
The demon child who gets possessed from time to time.
I bet she's dead.
But see, that's the thing, though. Ashton does show up later.
Yeah.
So regardless of our choice...
He's going to be there.
He is going to be there.
Because he's investigating. How can you say no to those puppy eyes? I don't know. No. Make Kylie happy. Everybody's saying make Kylie happy, so... What do you think?
I
think so.
I think so, too.
Because like you said, Ashton, I think, is going to be there regardless. I think he's doing an investigation on Luke.
Yeah.
And so he's going to be there whether or not.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think the relationship with Ashton is really going to tank that badly. But like I said, if we go ahead and just save and see how badly the relationship goes, if it gets really, really bad...
I mean, she's already said that he probably doesn't expect her to be there.
Yeah.
But we don't know with Ash. We don't know enough about Ash yet to really make that.
And isn't it like the last chapter?
I think he is.
Oh, no. So
no,
Luke's the last. But still. But I mean, still, even if we don't like what happens immediately afterwards, because once we make a choice, the relationship is what changes.
Yeah.
So let's just see. Because I'm curious.
Ash didn't change, and Luke
Nope.
went up.
Actually, Ashton did not change.
So,
Luke just went up.
yeah, Luke went up. That's why it says new here.
Yeah,
And it says plus.
that's why I said that Ashton didn't change.
Yeah.
In the end,
Plus, who turns down free food?
right?
Okay, that's valid. That's valid.
That is the most valid ever.
I have free broccoli cheddar soup in there
Oh God.
that my son had from work.
Yeah.
I love broccoli cheddar soup.
Broccoli is just a smidge too strong for me, so I can't taste the complementary flavors, and it's all just so unbearably bitter.
She's got broken taste buds.
I do. Kind of sucks. Good for some things, but
No, it's broken. It's bad. You're broken. You're terrible. Stop it.
Excuse me, sir, but I would like to see a man talk to a moose.
I don't know where that's from, and I
It's-
don't want to know where that's from.
It's an improv. So it's an improvisation from a character dragged from Monty Python. The Gumbies, where they just kind of stand there in their
Yeah.
rain boots and their little rags in their hand. They just kind of stand like this, and they all say something really stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they came from. I don't think he actually ever says that, but it's within the character itself.
Right.
In the end, it's my own fondness for Kylie that wins out. Chances are I'll only have to endure his presence for an hour or so. If it lasts more than that, I can make an excuse. A sudden call from a friend or things to work on. It doesn't seem so bad when I think of the pros and cons. At best, it'll be a quiet dinner. At worst, it'll be an awkward affair we're both eager to be rid of. I'm leaning more on the latter happening, hoping for the former, of course. Okay, but only because Kylie asked. Kylie's face instantly lights up. For the third time today, she tackles me into a hug before pulling away and dragging me by the hand towards the building's exit.
That's all right. I'm sure Tio doesn't mind. He let me pick where we're going to eat. Don't worry. It's just close.
Luke follows closely behind, and perhaps out of some desire to keep the dead air away, I can't resist throwing an equip. Keep your distance. You better not do anything funny, you hear?
I'm the one who should say, keep my distance. May I remind you who approached me first and what you did right after?
Oh, I remember it clearly, but perhaps it's you who needs a reminder. You seem to have never learned your lesson. Care we give it another try? Maybe this time it'll stick.
Maybe this time it'll stick. You think you're scary. I'll show you what's scary.
To my surprise, his tone lacks the usual sardonic note in it, and briefly I paused to stare at him. He quickly shuts his mouth and right after and walks ahead of us. All talk and no trousers like the usual, and for the better part of our walk, except for Kylie's excited chatter, we don't speak. Somehow, I have this strange feeling I'm already getting used to the kind of banter with him. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing. And amidst this newfound friendship, dare I call it that? Ashton's message lays forgotten and abandoned in my pocket. Dinner date. Of all the places nearest to the school, Kylie picks the one, and waiting for the food to be served is Kylie picks this one, and wait for the food to be served is as awkward as I've imagined it would be. Not the bad sort, though. The pleasant kind. Surprisingly, Luke's an okay bloke when he tries. When he tries. So long as you're willing to look past the tactless remarks, or we're not exchanging acerbic quips. It's clear he's making an effort for this to be as fun as possible for the 6-year-old by being chattier. even going as far as to laugh when Kelly's story calls for it. It's an interesting thing to hear from the man. More than once, I catch his frequent cheese-off expression easing whenever he looks at the girl.
And your friend, did you make up with her?
Yep. She said she just saw something she didn't like. She didn't accept the jellies, though.
Did or didn't? Did I read that wrong?
No, she didn't. She didn't accept
Okay.
the jellies.
I want to make sure I actually read that right for once.
Yeah.
She told me to give it to you instead. She knows how he likes the red ones, too.
Very well. Hand it to me later. I'll bring some of them home. I think your Tia would love to have some.
What a terrible liar. He says he dislikes the idea of having children of his own, but it's easy to see some part of him genuinely wants them. What's stopping him?
Impotence.
Once Kylie wanders to the nearby bookshelves after having lost interest in the conversation, however, we both revert back to the silence. On our own, we have little to talk about, aside from a few questions about the other here and there. At one point, it does veer on local politics and history. He's surprisingly versed in that he can hold a decent conversation without throwing a jibe. Nothing too personal is ever mentioned so far, though. It's too early for those, and besides, I don't like him enough to speak every minute of every detail of my life.
Every minute.
Yeah, I know.
I realized it after.
I realized it after I said it. Like always. It's called being tactless. Oh, wait. Better.
No, that's me. For pointing it out.
Me. No, yeah, it's probably better that you do. That
It's
I
okay.
actually try and read better, as opposed to just letting my dyslexia run wild. Better keep it strictly between the silence and the casual
Repartee.
Thank you, repartee. This whole thing already looks and feels wrong on so many levels. I'm quite sure he feels the same. So when another bout of silence hits us and becomes too much, I've taken to finding something else to occupy myself. Toying with my mobile, turning it from hand to hand while we wait for our respective meals. But it'll be a complete lie if I say I'm not waiting for some intervention. Something to pull me away from this place. Someone. Ashton's probably at Salemville by this time, working on whatever business he has there. Maybe if I make it an excuse and leave now, I can still catch him.
Cut that out. It's distracting.
My hand stills, holding the gadget awkwardly between us, arrested mid-pass by his bored tone. He's been quiet for a long minute now, after complaining about how appalling the tea they're serving here is. Before that, he whined about how uncomfortable his chair is and tasteless the decorations they have. Previous to that, he has griped about how dull the place is compared to the one he frequents on the upper class side of the city. Well, I'm sorry for being a bunch of peasants, your majesty. Figures he'll lose patience soon at having already grumbled about almost everything his eye can reach. It's just unfortunate he's turned it to me now. Why don't you just look somewhere else?
I can't. If I turn elsewhere, I might end up looking at a bobfuck right behind us.
But do I even want to ask? I don't want to hear it.
Why is he green?
Oh dear. If it's coming out of his mouth, it can only be either rude or offensive. Regardless, he continues.
Everything looks good, but have you seen the face? True horror.
Oh, what is wrong with you? You know, I frown at this in practice, but that mouth needs to be washed out with a particularly potent soap. Preferably by your own mum.
A shame she isn't here,
For whatever reason, that puts an end to the talk right away. He returns to watching his godchild, who has found a particularly interesting picture book and is now poring over it, while I turn my back to my mobile. I turn back to my mobile. Still no message.
Would it kill him to at least send a message, check if I were home?
His mom's a soap.
God damn it, man. I'll turn you into soap. Fight Club.
His name is Robert Paulson.
Meanwhile, Luke's silence lasts all but 10 seconds.
I would like to point out that this devolved back into moobs talk. And this is where Young came in.
Right? Moves!
Oh, Lord.
Although what I'm staring at is not moves.
No, they're not. It's okay. Not unless there's something else you need to tell us.
Da, 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 da.
What is it with the damn mobile? Are you on a curfew?
He's got the immature act down pat. I'll give him that. Seriously, how old is this guy? Has he somehow been deprived of affection during childhood? And what is it to you? I don't think it's even your business what I do with it.
It is my business, all right? I'm the one paying here. 2, I'm being forced to eat dinner in a place this stuffed and noisy. Lastly, it's been 10 minutes, the food isn't here, and I'm hungry. What you're doing with the mobile is annoying and distracting when the least you could do is keep things entertaining while I suffer.
That's your problem? Shouldn't you be more worried about how this entire affair looks to other people?
Okay, the italics is bad. Because it should be, that's your problem?
I know it, right?
Oh, I didn't realize this was one. You move fast, Daisy. You could have informed me first, you know. Had I known, I would have taken you someplace nicer. Certainly the kind with better food and plenty of good wine.
Why did I ever think this was a good idea? Did it ever occur to you that how inappropriate this might look to everyone?
Why should I care? It's only inappropriate if you make it out to be. Relax, I won't do anything to make your boyfriend angry. He doesn't even need to know we dined out. It'll be our dirty little secret.
He's not my boyfriend. The words came out with more force than I intended. By the time I realized my slip up, his lips already spread into a sneer.
Love that look.
He slowly crawls up my face.
Oh, so there is someone. You're so easy to read.
Briefly, his eyes search my face. I have no idea what he sees, nor do I care to know. But in the next second, he barks out at a laugh, displaying his amusement without reserve to everyone within earshot. In that moment, I know I flipped a switch in him somewhere, and I've lost my chance to deny his deceptions.
Something else that I'm like him in. Oh, look, blood in the water. I think how he's standing in the pictures.
Everyone's standing in the pictures.
Doesn't matter if they're sitting down or not. They're standing.
Everyone's standing. Do I even want to? Isn't that the reason why I've been so focused on my mobile, waiting for another message from him? For a reason to dump this awkward meeting to go after him?
Look how mottled you are. Now, the nickname makes more sense. Shy Miss Pink and her cute little crush. The color suits you, by the way. It matches the hair.
It's not a crush.
Classic denial, but in reality, you want him to be yours, and your every move is made to make him notice you. In fact, you don't want him to see you with another man in a non-professional capacity, because he might misinterpret it.
The same goes for you, doesn't it? Bloody. Yours is even worse. And what about your wife? Aren't you concerned she might misinterpret this?
Daisy, just because we tied the knot doesn't mean we have to be joined at the hip at every single opportunity.
Don't be ridiculous. Why else would you marry her if you don't want to be with her for the rest of your lives?
Burn.
Right?
Because Daisy, she also has other things she can do with her life and friends to spend time with. Granted, I don't like some of them, and I have a few of my own she utterly dislikes, but wifey doesn't have to know my every move, nor do I hers. Do you know how boring that would be? To be with the same person for all hours of the day, losing sleep over the mere fact they're not with you, or putting everything you have aside to please them? To have your whole world revolve around one person.
Aren't you just mistaking that for something else? Unlike you, there are other people here who don't share the same jaded outlook you have. Don't lump everyone together just because it didn't work out for you.
And you, my dear, are unexpectedly naive.
What's so naive about it? If you love each other, wouldn't you want to always see them? Be with them?
Notice me, senpai. Sorry. Miss Pink, notice me, senpai.
Right? To have them focus solely on you? Maybe you haven't been loved enough.
Oh, it's that kind of thing for you, is it? The love is eternal. Love is a strong emotion, shite. A starry-eyed girl pining for her dashing Prince Charming. What's next? Romantic confession of love? A grand wedding on the beach? Dozens of spawn running around in some picturesque home in the suburbs? How quaint. Are you also expecting it's going to be sunshine and rainbows afterwards? A happily ever after? Please.
What? I never once said. Is that such a bad thing to hope for?
Woman, I've been married for 7 years, and I'm telling you, it's far from what you have in your pretty red head. Tell me, how long has this song and dance been going on for you and your man? Maybe I am mistaken.
Averting my eyes from him is all I can manage to do. What does his mere 7 years have compared to the 17 I've had with Ash? It's laughable he thinks those two things are even comparable. Ash and I may have never moved past the boundaries of friendship, like what I'm hoping for years, but what we have isn't something anyone can scoff at. I've always been at his side, endured everything with him. I know him better than anyone. No matter what this man, this complete stranger says, I know there will always be a place for me beside him.
Wow, she is delusional.
Good God.
Holy crap. Like, yeah, seriously, young. Very seriously, notice me senpai vibes.
Uh-huh.
Holy mackerel.
And yet.
Come on, Daisy, that shouldn't be too hard. 3, 5, 8, 10, 20.
His words easily seep into my heart like sharp daggers, gradually picking apart everything I've ever been sure of.
She's a nice girl, TM.
Oh God, no.
No, I don't think so, but...
Not quite. But, oof.
It hurts and it's terrifying at the same time.
Right? Unless, of course, she's kind of already just resigned herself to always being friends.
Friend zoned.
Forever and ever and ever.
She wants to marry him. She wants to stup him. But she can't stup him because they're friends.
Yeah.
And here I thought supernatural stuff would be scary parts of this game.
Right.
It's the relationships that really screw with you.
Right.
It's a dating sim from hell. Ow.
Despite myself, the doubts resurface and my defenses crumble right in front of my eyes. It's no wonder he sees through me, and as expected, he ridicules it. Laughs. Restrained, low and rumbling, a sharp sound striking in the air around us, amidst the murmur of people and the soft notes of the music playing over our heads.
How in the hell was that low and rumbling?
Right?
Is not low and rumbling.
His shoulders shake when his mirth becomes too much even for him. He reaches up a hand and passes it over his face, as if to hold his glee close to him.
Bloody bullocks, this is just brilliant. Oh, mother, why do I always keep running into these things? This day couldn't get any better. I think I'm gonna need a stiff drink after this.
Oh dear. That's just unsettling. He dissolves into another peal of laughter, but when it subsides, what he has for me are more words. Scathing, each of them. The urge to run from here has never been this strong.
Is everything you said how you plan to act? If that man of yours ever ends up with you, cling to him, Put him on a bloody pedestal. Let him become the center of your universe. Although with how long this seems to be going on, I think you've already done so. Marriage will just be the icing on the top. Like some sort of reward for you, isn't it? For being a good, patient, loyal little girl all this time, never looking at another man. He must have been having a grand time with someone pining over him this long. I'm a little envious, to be honest. Maybe also a little surprised he hasn't suffocated from all your attention yet.
Laugh all about it if you want. It's not like you'll ever understand. Luke falls silent. The ridicule in him is gone in an instant, and his eyes meet mine, sharp and imposing. A challenge, but I hold against him in the same intensity. Because if there's something I won't let his opinion trample on, it's this. What does he know? However, he's the first to look away, focusing his eyes back to where Kylie is, and for a moment, I believe I've won. Until he draws a breath and turns back to me. The words he drops next, though, hushed, hang heavily in the distance between us.
You're right. I won't. But I do know not to mistake love for obsession, woman. They're not the same thing.
It rattles. Out of everything he said tonight, this is the one thing that twinges my heart. Maybe it's in the manner he delivers it, the lack of conceit in his posture, or an underlying insult in the tone he takes. The remark is not meant to cut, merely to express simple truth. This time, it's him who holds a gaze against me. Another unspoken challenge, and I realized that if this had happened minutes before, I'd have already have an equally searing retort at the tip of my tongue. There's none. But the anger is there, ringing at my insides, prodding at the uncertainties I've long kept. Isn't it enough? We've had the long years we've been together. We have the memories. Whenever he needs me, or until other people came between us, I've always been there. The dedication and loyalty should mean something, shouldn't it? I've always been sure of it, and that one day he'll see it for what it is. In spite of that, in this minute, under this man's scrutiny, my own heart wavers. Now I start to find the words. Well, I don't like either of those answers.
Me either. Oh wow, he went straight for the throat, man. You know what, guys? I think we're gonna call it there. We're gonna leave it with that choice.
Oh goodness, yeah.
That way we have time to think it over. I wouldn't, because this is actually a good scene, but Mort's got to get on the road.
Yep.
She's got to drive ahead of her, so.
2 hours.
Is it actually that long? Because I got a plan for Sunday.
Well, it's depends on what time you go. I mean, if you drive the speed limit and you behave with the speed limit,
I do.
it's 2 hours, roughly.
Okay.
Just because there are lights in between.
Right.
There used to not be. It used to be an hour and a half, but with all the lights that they've added along the way, it's like 2 hours now.
Okay. Well.
Just roughly. Let's see. Oh, good night, Young.
Night, Young. We'll see you next week, man.
Bye, guys.
Woman, person, thing.
Non-binary.
Fan.
Oh, now about an hour 40. Well,
Okay.
lunch would know as well. I mean, it's still close to 2 hours.
I
so.
just have to know because I got to pick up the exchange student and then drive out there. So, and we want to be there earlier in the day.
What time are you guys thinking?
As early as possible.
Well, how early as possible, because the gates open at 9 o'clock.
Probably around 9 or 10.
You want to be there around 9 or 10?
Yeah.
You have to pick up 2 of them at different places?
No, it's us and then her.
Oh, so only the one exchange student.
Yeah, the one exchange student. The 2 tickets are for boy and her.
Okay.
So
Okay.
anyway, we're discussing outside of things. But thanks for showing up, guys. Again, Extra Life, go do it. Notification bells, go hit it. Get with me if you want to do some artwork. And we'll be back here next week, next Friday, with yet another letter.
Hopefully another chapter of the letter, and, thanks for stopping by.
Bye, guys.